Good evening, and thank you for joining us here from Stony Brook Elementary. The Wareham Gatemen here to take on the Brewster Whitecaps, the first game of a 4-game away stretch. We'll go Brewster today, Chatham tomorrow, and then 2 in Hyannis before the off day Thursday. Thank you for joining us on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Nick Magas here with Owen Sughrue. As we get set for this one, no lights here at Stony Brook Elementary School, the field right outside the school, so we have a 5 o'clock start time coming your way, and we'll try and get this one in before the daylight escapes us. For the Gatemen, it was a tough night last night. Played the best team in the division. They took on Bourne. They lost 1-0, and after a very well-pitched game, it turned out to be a very tough loss for Wareham.
Yeah, it really was a very good performance on the mound all the way through for all three Gatemen pitchers, starting off Spencer Miles. And we had a good talking with Evan, one of the interns this year for the Gatemen, saying that he really didn't have his best stuff last night. And we were saying what an accomplishment that is for a pitcher like Miles, being able to be so effective even when he doesn't have his best stuff. He said he just didn't have his curveball working the way he'd like to, but he worked his fastball in. He was good enough with that curveball. And then great performance, too, from Garrett Schmeltz as well. And, so it was a good night on the mound all the way through. And Kevin Acey, a good night for him, too. So, those three pitchers were outstanding, giving up just one run to the Bourne Braves. This offense that's been so strong all the way through is a huge accomplishment for the Gatemen pitching staff. And just not able to put any runs on the board. Certainly some positives, but you can understand that loss is going to sting for the Gatemen.
Yes, as you said, a couple guys like Schmeltz and Acey after tougher nights, especially for Schmeltz in Falmouth. They came back and pitched well 2 days later and held an offense that came into that game hitting .270, far and away the best offense in the Cape League, and held them to just one run. The Gatemen with only 4 hits on the evening, unable to get any runs to come across. The poor base running continued, the poor situational hitting continued, and they dropped their 5th straight. Trying to get back into the win column today, they're here at Brewster to take on a team that looks quite a bit different than what they did the first time we saw them. That was back at Spillane Field in a game Wareham lost 3-0.
Yeah, get a new test tonight. Whitecaps coming into tonight batting .211. I mean, this offense, no team in the Cape League is as explosive as Bourne has been, but a different offense, like you said, Nick, than the first time Wareham played Brewster back at Spillane. And, the Whitecaps still in first place in this East Division, so certainly a tough test, but probably not quite as tough as last night. They played great last night, and you think if they can play that well again tonight, hopefully they'll be able to have a different result.
And a potential new spark for the Gatemen, a new arm on the mound tonight, someone we haven't seen all Cape League. He arrived here just a couple days ago, Blake Soderston out of Cal State Northridge.
Yeah, Soderston, really excited to see him on the mound. We've heard he's had great stuff, and really excited to see him here in his Gateman debut. This past season at Cal State Northridge had a 4.02 ERA and 62 2/3 and 52 strikeouts. So I think for the Gatemen, we talked about last night, they had a chance against a really good Bourne team to sort of start to turn things around. They played great, just weren't able to get the win. So mixing some things up here, some new players too in the lineup, or players that we haven't seen, I should say, in a long time. So there's some new looks for the Gatemen, and they'll try to get a win here and on a big away matchup for them.
So the national anthem coming your way. We'll step out for a moment and be back with this game between the Wareham Gatemen and the Brewster Whitecaps. We appreciate and thank the sponsors who support the Cape League and the 10 teams. Our corporate sponsors are the financial backbone of the league. It is with their support that we are able to preserve our long-standing tradition of providing the best family entertainment here on Cape Cod. On behalf of the Wareham Gatemen, the 9 other teams, league officers, and the entire Cape League family, we would like to announce and thank our 2021 corporate sponsors. With much appreciation, we recognize
the Yawkey Foundation, Curry College, Cape Cod Healthcare, the 99 Restaurants, Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod,
Badger Sport, 47 Brand, Cape Cod 5 Cent Savings Bank, Milton Cat, Mosquito Marys,
Fairway Financial, Ocean Spray, Seaside Le Mans, Rogers Gray, Franklin Sports,
Cape Destinations, Sullivan Tire, Cape Cod Times, Kinlan Grover Real Estate, Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce,
Highline Cruises, Sports Picks, On Deck Sports, Barnstable Bat, Highness Area Chamber of Commerce,
HP Hood, Sunderland Printing, Axis Bats, Quest Diagnostics, Cape Space. And of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
The Cape Cod Baseball League and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We ask for your cooperation and positive support of the participants and officials. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments or any other intimidating actions will not be tolerated. Thank you. We ask parents to keep their children off the roofs of the dugouts, away from the batting cages, and out of the bullpen areas. Please throw rubbish into the barrels and recycle the aluminum cans in special bins located around the park.
Ladies and gentlemen, state law prohibits the use of any tobacco product on school property. Thanks for keeping us in compliance.
Cameras and video cameras are permitted inside Spillane Field for personal photos, but cannot be used to reproduce the game, players, or on-field events without the express written permission of the Wareham Gatemen. Use of camera or video equipment must not interfere with other fans' enjoyment of the game.
Back from Stony Brook Elementary, Nick Magas here with Owen Sughrue on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The Gatemen taking on the Brewster Whitecaps, 5:01 p.m. local time. First pitch was scheduled for 5 o'clock. That'll be coming your way any minute. Right before the break, we talked about Blake Soderston, the new arm on the mound for the Gatemen. You'll see him in the bottom of this inning, but for the Brewster Whitecaps, we'll get into Mason Barnett first. He takes the hill for the 5th time this season, his 5th start, and he's been very good to this point for the Whitecaps.
He sure has. 4.8 ERA on through 15 innings pitched so far this Cape League season with 18 strikeouts. His last outing versus Harwich, he was outstanding. Went 4 1/3, no runs, and 6 strikeouts. So he's certainly one of the best pitchers for Brewster, and Gatemen bats will have a tough matchup tonight.
The Gatemen, the visiting team in the first base dugout. Leading it off tonight, Tres Gonzalez. Just saw him for one at-bat last night. It was a pinch-hitting appearance for him. He starts back in center field tonight, where we've seen him for the majority of this Gatemen season now. In the 2-hole, Sean McLean arrived just a few days ago. He's starting at third base tonight. Owen Diodati moves up a spot in the batting order tonight. He's batting third. And then Tommy Troy, the second baseman, in the cleanup spot. That's the first time we've seen Troy there this year. Fifth is Jim Jarvis. He's starting at shortstop. Yohandy Morales getting his second start at first base. He's batting 6th. And then 7, 8, 9 for the Gatemen. Jimmy Crooks, the catcher. Kellum Clark, the designated hitter. And then Cade Kern, the right fielder, rounding out the order.
Yeah, nice to see Cade Kern back in the lineup. He has had such stretches of fantastic production this year. 2 homers, 11 RBI. Had stretches where he really struggled, but good chance for him back in the lineup at right field. I know he has a good arm in right field too, so I like this change. I like this move from Snedden, the Gatemen.
So Tres Gonzalez will step into the left-hand batter's box, lead it off for the Gatemen. Facing Mason Barnett, the man out of Auburn, for the first time. First pitch from Barnett out of the windup. It's a fastball taken for a strike. Hot and humid day here in Cape Cod. Should turn into a cool evening as the sun continues to set. We'll try and get this one in before the sun does set, as there are no lights here at Stony Brook Elementary. 2 fastballs, 2 strikes taken by Tres Gonzalez. He's quickly in a hole. Nobody aboard, nobody out here in the top of the first inning. The pitch to Gonzalez, grounded right side, fielded by Alex Freeland. The throw to first is dug out, and he's safe. They say he came off the bag. Tres Gonzalez busting it down the first base line after a ground ball to the left side was fielded by Freeland to the backhand. A low throw to first, and it pulled Spencer Jones off the bag.
It was really a great scoop from Spencer Jones, and interestingly, Freeland slipped up a little bit just as he was gathering that ball. Of course, they water down that infield, and Jones similarly just lost his footing a little bit. Again, made a great scoop, but foot just came off the bag, so Gonzalez aboard.
Tress doing his job. Aboard to lead off the game after falling down, no balls and 2 strikes. Now it's Sean McLean at the dish. McLean cuts through a fastball. 4 pitches, now 4 strikes for Mason Barnett. Barnett out of the stretch now, checks the runner. Comes set, working from the belt. He lobs one to first, checks on Gonzalez. Gonzalez reached a moment ago. No balls and a strike on Sean McLean out of Arizona State. The right-hand batter facing the righty, and he takes a fastball high.
A lot of fastballs so far from Barnett. We saw the curveball on the last pitch that Gonzalez ended up grounding to short, but he's been very fastball heavy.
It was a fastball 70% of the time. That's the official number we received before the game. He'll alternate between the two breaking balls evenly when he's ahead in the count, the curveball and the slider. Features a changeup as well as he blows a fastball by McLean. That's strike 2.
And McLean struggled last night. 0 for 3 with a walk, now 2 for 8 on the season.
Ball and 2 strikes on Sean McLean, starting at third base this evening for the Gatemen. Gonzalez running from first with nobody out in the inning. The pitch from Barnett fouled off. Around the infield for the Whitecaps, it's Jake Thompson at third, Alex Freeland at short, Nick Biddison at second base, and the aforementioned Spencer Jones at first. Curtis Byrne is behind the plate, and then the outfield from left to right, Max Bingham, Dylan Carter, and Chris Lanzilli. Trying again with the 1-2 to Sean McLean. Runner at first base for the Gatemen. Curveball called strike 3.
And there's that breaking ball we saw. Like you said, Nick, ahead in the count. Went to the curveball. Good pitch on the outside corner. Got McLean looking.
Sharp front door breaking ball to start it off. And Mason Barnett looked solid through a couple of batters, pounding the strike zone. And it was a weak hit, I believe, from... I believe, not sure exactly how that one was scored at the moment, but Tres Gonzalez aboard after a ground ball to the shortstop. Just received confirmation that was a hit from Gonzalez that put him aboard. So he stands at first now with 1 out in the inning, and Diodati at the plate for the Gatemen. Barnett set, couple checks on the runner, taking a long time, and now Diodati asks for time himself at the plate.
Diodati does love that late time
Yes, he
call.
does. So Barnett set. We'll try it once again. Here's the first pitch to Diodati. Came with a fastball. It's upstairs. And this will be an interesting matchup. We mentioned how much Mason Barnett likes to throw his fastball. We've talked all season about how much Owen Diodati likes to hit fastballs.
A lot of those pitchers, when facing Diodati, they've made adjustments. They've thrown many more breaking balls than we saw to start the season. Diodati had a bit of a cold streak, and he's been hitting much better as of late.
The 1-0 to Diodati's off the hands in toward left field, and it's caught. Alex Freeland with a diving catch moving back into left field, going out from the shortstop position, and that's the second out of the inning.
Beautiful catch there from Freeland. Trying to judge that one, making his way into shallow left, and ended up making a great over-the-shoulder diving catch. Very different, obviously, for the Gatemen, with what would likely be Gonzalez on second, Diodati on first, 1 out. Now 2 outs, Gonzalez back to first.
Freeland couldn't come up with the play on Gonzalez earlier in the inning, but makes up for it there. Takes a hit away from Owen Diodati. And now 2 outs with Gonzalez still at first base and Tommy Troy in the right-hand batter's box. Troy takes a fastball high for ball 1. Troy's been solid for the Gatemen since he arrived a couple weeks ago. Into this one hitting .259. First night for him in the cleanup spot. The 1-0 pitch from Barnett is a breaking ball taken for a strike.
A nice curveball there to Troy. We're used to seeing Troy very early in the lineup, seen him a lot at leadoff. And here in cleanup tonight, a little bit different. He was 0 for 3 last night with a walk in the 6th.
Ball and a strike on Tommy Troy, the second baseman out of Stanford. First, we have a check on the runner at first. Mason Barnett yet to bring out his best pickoff move, just a couple casual throws to first. Here's the 1-1 to Troy. Fastball on the ground to the right side. Nick Biddison over to his glove side to pick it up and slings it to first for out number 3. A 4-3 putout ends the inning after the Gatemen get the leadoff man aboard. We'll send it to the bottom of the first on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
The 99 Restaurant and Pub is proud to be a sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit your local 99 and try their famous colossal lobster rolls. Piled high on grilled brioche and served hot buttered or with just the right amount of mayo and celery with fries and coleslaw. The 99, always the real deal. Badger Sport is a leading provider of superior quality team uniforms and performance athletic wear, including performance t-shirts, fleeces, shorts, and pants. From the fields to the stands and at every practice along the way, Founders Sport Group makes authentic, quality apparel accessible at the speed of the sport. Visit foundersport.com today.
After a scoreless top of the first, the Gatemen take the field. Soderstrom strides to the mound, finishing up his warm-up pitches now, and his first start for the Gatemen coming your way in a moment. We'll go through the Brewster lineup. Mac Bingham leading it off, starting in left field, then Jake Thompson starting at third base. The new guy, Chris Lanzilli, played in just one game so far for Brewster, starting in right field. He's batting third. Chad Castillo, the designated hitter, he's in the cleanup spot. In the 5-hole, Spencer Jones starting at first base. Curtis Byrne batting sixth and catching. We'll finish it up after the first pitch from Soderstrom. First ball fast.
For a nostalgic Cape Cod vacation experience, head to Bay Motor Inn, where guests are treated like family. Located in the heart of Buzzards Bay Village, this 1950s-style cottage colony still provides you with up-to-date amenities. The Gatemen thanked the Bay Motor Inn for their support.
Baseball Factory's vision is to guide both players and parents through the college recruiting process into professionally trained players in order to find a school that is the right fit, both academically and athletically. Contact us at 877-752-6025.
Come on over to BB's Bar and Grill for food, drinks, and fun. Located on Cranberry Highway, come in to sample the delicious eats or relax with a drink while enjoying live entertainment. BB's is one of our team meal partners.
With professional coaches that provide personalized world-class baseball training, Baseball Factory helps every player take his game to the next level. Get a pro evaluation by calling 877-752-6025.
One of the area's best restaurants is located right up the street, Brewfish Bar and Eatery. Brewfish offers 20 rotating craft beers on tap and creative pub food. Check out their off-the-menu brunch with a Bloody Mary bar and $5 mimosas on Sundays. Join us for outdoor dining and drinks under the tent or for live music. Located on Route 105 in Marion.
Here again for the top of the second inning. Stony Brook Elementary is the host of tonight's game between the Wareham Gatemen and the Brewster Whitecaps. Gatemen losers of 5 straight, trying to get back in the win column tonight and sending Jim Jarvis, Yohandy Morales, and Jimmy Crooks to the plate in this half of the 6th. We're scoreless as Mason Barnett takes the mound for his second inning.
It was a good start in the first for Barnett, and Jarvis leading things off. Him in the 5 spot. We're seeing some mixing around of the order tonight. Again, we've seen Jarvis a lot early in the lineup. We talked about Troy in the last inning. We've also seen Jarvis in the 9 spot. Jarvis accounting for 25% of the Gatemen's hits last night with his double in the first.
Gatemen with just 4 hits last night in a game they lost 1-0 to Bourne. As the breaking ball stays way upstairs, the first pitch out of the hand of Mason Barnett. Jarvis with a 1-0 count stands in the left-hand batter's box. Chops that pitch foul. It was a fastball.
A very different look on those 2 pitches. I think that first one looked like Barnett gave that about 65 or 70% of his delivery, and then going right to the fastball on that second pitch.
Jarvis chops one off the plate. 1-1 count quickly now 1-2. Jarvis into this one hitting .237. 9 RBI on the season. 5 doubles to his name as well as he chokes up with 2 strikes and fouls a pitch off to the left. Had Harrison Eaton on the Mixler broadcast with myself last night, and he was able to talk a little bit about, we were able to get a little more in depth about Jim Jarvis and his 2-strike approach and just his approach to at-bats in general and how much he really likes hitting with 2 strikes. Doesn't just fall down in counts, but really enjoys the challenge of hitting with 2 strikes. And had a chance to talk to Ron Polka a little bit about that as well, as Jarvis chops another one down the third base line. Out from behind the plate is Curtis Byrne. The throw to first gets away. Down the right field line it goes, and now it's out of play, so Jarvis will take second base.
That one just fortuitous placement for the Gatemen. That one a tough play for the catcher Byrne, trying to throw over to Jones at first, and with Jarvis's speed, we know he's stolen a lot of bases, and he was quickly able to get down to first. So a good start, another leadoff man on for the Gatemen here in the second.
Getting the leadoff man aboard has not been the problem for the Gatemen this season. Getting him to score is another issue. Jarvis with a leadoff double in an inning last night, or I believe that was a 1-out double, excuse me, but unable to bring him home. Yohandy Morales at the plate now with a leadoff triple, and he was ultimately stranded, actually thrown out at home on a ground ball to the left side, so he cuts and misses through a first pitch fastball. Morales with an 0-1 count, 1 for 4 with that triple last night. He has Jarvis standing at second base with nobody out in the inning. Takes a breaking ball over the inside corner.
Yeah, that triple last night in a lot of ways just summed up how the game went for the Gatemen. A great start, obviously, in that 5th inning for you, Handy, and then just a base running miscue.
So Morales waits for the 0-2 and cuts through a breaking ball down and away. That's strike 3. Mason Barnett burying the slider, and Morales is down on strikes on 3 pitches.
And Morales, obviously that triple, he also had 2 strikeouts and 4 at-bats last night, so one to start things off in his first at-bat here tonight.
Once again, the Gatemen with challenge with moving a runner over from second base to third, even if Morales does make an out, but instead Jarvis stays at second base. Jimmy Crooks, who was 1 for 1 last night in his pinch hit appearance, takes a strike.
Yeah, Crooks really made that look easy. Must have been looking around his teammates saying, what was this so hard, guys? He came in 1 swing, 1 at bat, he got a single, so Crooks had success last night. Obviously the Bourne pitching staff has been all season, and they continued to be outstanding last night.
A sub-3 team ERA for that Bourne pitching staff as Barnett comes home with another fastball, evens the count at 1. Breeze blowing out straight to straightaway center field. Ball was jumping in batting practice today, Owen.
Sure was. We had a fun view behind the cage, and a lot of those balls going over that fence.
Jimmy Crooks, the lefty, waits for the 1-1 pitch. Jarvis dances off second base, now retreats, and Crooks fouls it off, goes down 1-2.
And manager Don Sneddon loves to find a way to get Crooks in the lineup. Again, we mentioned that pinch hitting last night. We've seen him at DH. He's so talented at the plate, too, batting .254. We've talked a lot about what he can do defensively, that nice play in the first inning as well. So Gatemen like to find a lot of ways to try to get Crooks in the lineup.
Barnett likes the high fastball when he's ahead in the count. Comes with a fastball 70% of the time. Also an even mix with curveballs and sliders. Has a number of pitches he can go to, 1 and 2 to Crooks. It's the breaking ball as Crooks fouls it away left side, staying alive with 2 strikes on him in his first at-bat of the game.
And 2 homers on the season, too, for Crooks. So 3 doubles and 6 RBI. He really can go both ways. Excellent behind the plate and at the plate.
Jim Jarvis reached to lead off the inning on a swinging bunt single, and then a throwing error by the catcher put him on second base. That is where he stands with 1 out and Crooks at the plate. The 1-2. Just off the outside corner. Evens the count at 2.
And that one there, if you're Crooks, that looks like a great take, because that one's a ball. Would have been a little bit tougher if that were a called strike 3, but confident take from Crooks, evens the count at 2.
The third base dugout, the Brewster dugout, obviously wanted that call, but didn't get it. Crooks stays alive, 2-2. Sends a chopper back up the middle. Biddison fields it to his backhand side. The throw to first is picked up by Spencer Jones, and that's out number 2.
Another good scoop over there from Jones. We saw that one in the last inning. Gonzalez ended up reaching Jones. That left foot on that stretch just came off first base, but another good play. It was a good throw from Biddison, but a little bit down below the glove of Jones, and a good adjustment from him.
Biddison over the middle. Tough throw moving away from first base for a second baseman, and Crooks, who runs fairly well for a catcher, almost beat that out. So 2 outs now. Jarvis advanced to third on the play, and the man out of Mississippi State, Kellum Clark, comes to the plate, swings at the first pitch, also grounds it to Biddison, and a routine play is out number 3. Gatemen threaten again with the leadoff man aboard. Once again, they come up empty. We'll go to the bottom of the second on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
With professional coaches that provide personalized world-class baseball training, Baseball Factory helps every player take his game to the next level. Get a pro evaluation by calling 877-752-6025.
The offensive woes continue for the Gatemen. 8 runs in their last 5 games. As Jim Jarvis reached second base to lead off the inning, nobody out. And at this point, it sounds like the approach, as Jack Sadegan said during the break, bunt him over, bunt him in. Is that what we're looking at right now? Well, Gatemen shut out last night. They lost 1-0 to Bourne. It's the second time in the last 5 games they've been held scoreless. Owen, what were you going to say?
Well, no, they've just had their struggles. It's a great thing to get so many leadoff men on, and it's just especially over this last stretch, it seemed that they've had some difficulty bringing him in.
So here's Spencer Jones, the lefty. Takes a breaking ball from Soderstrom outside for ball 1. Spencer Jones standing at 6'7". Not a height you see from too many guys on the baseball field, let alone guys who aren't pitchers. Jones is an outfielder out of Vanderbilt, and he takes strike 1 from Soderstrom.
Yeah, haven't seen too many guys from Vanderbilt so far this season in the Cape League. Not too many. Of course, a couple from Mississippi State.
Soderstrom worked a clean first. Now misses inside with a fastball. It must be tough for a guy like Jones as a hitter. Think about how big your strike zone is. Standing at 6'7", 225, out of Encinitas, California. Checks it up on a breaking ball. He did not go, so the count goes to 3-1.
Oh, close. Definitely got Jones thinking about a good pitch from Soderstrom, and that one was close for Jones, but able to hang in here.
The 3-1's grounded back up the middle. Jarvis gloves it behind the second base bag. The throw to first, not in time. We heard Spencer Jones ran well for a big man. He ran well for anybody right there, getting down the first base line and beating out a tough play for Jim Jarvis.
Yeah, we talking with the Brewster Whitecaps broadcasters, and they were explaining that he'll steal some bases. He has really good speed, and we saw it there. A tricky play for Jarvis. He took a while just to sort of compose himself coming all the way from his spot at shortstop. That one took a bounce and a carom off of the mound. So he was sort of at second base when he fielded it and coming into Tommy Troy's territory in second base land when he threw that over to Morales. And after all that, just not quite able to make the play and beat out the speedy Jones.
Soderstrom throws over to first. Jones back safely. He's already stolen 2 bags on the Cape League season. Swiped 4 this year at Vanderbilt. And now Curtis Byrne, the catcher, at the dish for the first time this evening. Into this one hitting .278, no home runs, 4 knocked in, and a runner at first base with nobody out for the Whitecaps. Soderstrom misses low and away. Sean McLean at third base playing in on the grass. Infield at double play depth in the middle for Jim Jarvis and Tommy Troy. As Soderstrom delivers in the high drive out to left field. Diodati tracking it back, now moving in a few steps and makes the catch for out number 1.
Yeah, that one well hit from Byrne. Just didn't quite get the kind of contact he needed for that one to leave the field. That wind is sort of helping him now as it shifts more toward left field. Just didn't quite get enough on it, just a little bit under it. Good play from Diodati. Good shift over to his right to make the play. Again, that wind always seems to be a factor for those outfielders. A little bit shifting tonight and perhaps a little bit swirly.
You got that right, Owen. Sometimes it's blowing in, sometimes it's blowing out, but it is always a factor here in the Cape League. Soderstrom on the hill, comes set, checks the runner at first with 1 out, now delivers a throw to first. Once again, Jones back safely.
We can already see Soderstrom very careful with Jones over there on first. He knows the kind of speed he has.
Alex Freeland at the plate now. The first pitch missed low and outside from Soderstrom. Freeland took a fastball for a strike. So the count goes to 1-1, 1 out in the inning. Spencer Jones still running from first base. Freeland out of the University of Central Florida. The infielder batting 7th, comes into this one hitting .225. As the runner takes off with the pitch, he'll test Jimmy Crooks. The throw down in time to get him. Don't test Jimmy Crooks as he was up and throwing, delivered it on a hop, and a good pickup and tag from Jim Jarvis on the back end has Spencer Jones caught stealing for the second out of the inning.
Well, another good throw there from Crooks. We've seen that a lot this season. His 8th time throwing out a runner trying to steal second base. Great arm from Crooks behind the plate.
So Freeland waves and misses through a Blake Soderstrom offering, and just like that, the count 2-2 with 2 outs and nobody aboard here in the bottom of the second. Freeland, the lefty, waits for the 2-2. Here it is. Breaking ball taken on the back foot, and the count goes to 3-2. Full count, 2 outs, nobody aboard. The payoff pitch misses high and outside, and Soderstrom puts a runner aboard by way of the walk.
Good at bat there from Freeland. Certainly not the end that Soderstrom would have wanted. His first walk of the night. And that last fastball just seemed like it got a little bit away from him and up high and outside to Freeland.
So here's Nick Biddison. The second baseman made a couple nice plays over there at second base in the first couple innings. This is the first time we've seen him at the plate. 146 hitter in the Cape League, 235 this year at Virginia Tech, and he takes a hack at the first pitch, rolls it foul. Excellent defender is Biddison, jack of all trades kind of guy, as he waits for the 0-1 from Soderstrom. The pitch sent back up the middle. Jarvis picks it up, throws to first base, and it is in time for out number 3. A groan from the dugout on the third base side, but Jim Jarvis had him by a full step and a half, and that's out number 3 in the inning. Still scoreless going to the third.
Clobbered high and deep to right center field, and this one is gone, a home run.
That home run's brought to you by Eastern Propane and Oil, another scholarship for a deserving youth. Eastern Propane and Oil, we're in your neighborhood.
Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, including new majors in sport and recreational management, graphic design, marketing, and computer science, online at www.currycollege.edu. Whether you are recently retired or still working, Fairway Financial can help you create clearly defined retirement income strategies to help protect your wealth, create guaranteed income for life, and provide a legacy for your family. We are committed to earning your trust by thoroughly understanding your goals and dreams and helping you gain greater financial confidence. To learn more, visit Fairway Financial in South Yarmouth or go to fairwayfinancial.net.
Welcome back. We enter the top of the third. It's Cade Kern leading things off for the Gatemen as he takes a breaking ball in the dirt for ball 1. A little late to this inning Just as per usual, signing some autographs for some fans.
Just you, Owen. They only asked for your autograph.
Very nice man, was kind enough to ask us for our autographs. Very nice guy listening to us as Kern ropes one into left field for a base hit to lead things off here in the top of the third for Wareham.
How about Cade Kern swinging at the first pitch, getting a pitch he could drive, and doing just that. Talked ad nauseum about how much he struggled in recent weeks, but nice to see him put a good swing on a baseball there, and we expect him to be able to turn it around very quickly here after a good start to his Cape League season.
Remember you mentioning, Nick, earlier in the season that you thought Kern's one of the strongest players on this team, and
I stand by that.
Certainly very confident at the plate there, as this one's a chopper foul from Gonzalez. Gonzalez reached on an infield single in the first. He didn't get past first base in the first inning. Comes into tonight batting .271 with 3 doubles and 4 RBI. So it's 0-1 to the lefty, the center fielder out of Georgia Tech.
Gonzalez, one of those guys that Kern has been battling with for playing time. It's been a bit of a three-man rotation between Cade Kern, Cade Fergus, and Tres Gonzalez throughout this season.
And the 0-1 to Gonzalez. That's a fastball he takes for a strike. So it's 0-2 for Gonzalez with Kern on first to lead things off. Still scoreless here in the top of the third.
Jake Thompson, the third baseman for Brewster, playing almost to the grass and well off the line. Big hole over there between him and the bag on the third base side.
And it's another throw over to the big Spencer Jones to check on Cade Kern from Mason Barnett.
If it weren't an 0-2 count, this would have been a good time for Gonzalez to lay down a bunt. I'm upset that I recognize that now, but with a good hitter in McLean on deck, maybe put a runner on second base and give him a chance to drive him home. That's off the table now, though, with 2 strikes on Gonzalez.
The 0-2, that misses way up high. That one at helmet level to Gonzalez, so the count goes to 1-2.
I say it's off the table. We did see a guy a couple nights ago from Orleans try and lay down a bunt with 2 strikes. He went right through it. Three attempted bunts down on 3 pitches. So never advisable, at least in my opinion.
Still 1-2 to Gonzalez. Pitch from Barnett. He grounds this one to the right side of the infield, and that gets into right field. Kern heading to third. That one actually bounced off the second base umpire. And after all that, Gonzalez slides into second. So some fortuitous bounces from Wareham. Good piece of hitting for Gonzalez. His second hit of the night. Runners on second and third for Sean McLean.
Fortuitous bounce is right. The umpire a part of the field. As always, nothing you can do about that if you're Brewster. And after the Gatemen have dropped 5 straight, nice to have something going your way here in the top of the third.
Comes up something that comes up all the time in hockey. The referees much more often in the field of play. It's common to see a puck go off the skates. A little bit less common in baseball, but during a stretch when not much has gone their way, Gatemen will take anything, barring an injury to that umpire. He looks like he's doing okay. No outs, 2 men on for McLean as he takes a fastball high and inside for ball 1.
One time you really see it come into play in baseball is when a ball gets by the catcher and hits the home plate umpire, especially with runners on base. That can keep it close enough where the runners can't advance.
1-0 to McLean. That one, similar pitch, another high and tight fastball. That misses inside. Count goes to 2-0. McLean struck out looking in the first inning. He was 0 for 3 last night with a walk in the 2 spot tonight.
Home plate umpire breaks up the mound conference, and should note the infield for the Brewster is in on the grass all the way around. So with runners at second and third in a scoreless game here early, they're going to try and cut down the run at home if they have a play.
.202 McLean, that's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for strike 1.
And right before that pitch, the middle infielders actually retreated to their positions. So that's where they'll stay for the moment. The corner's still playing in with a 2-1 count on McLean.
2-1 to the third baseman out of Arizona State. That one's a fastball. That one misses low and inside. So the count goes to 3-1. McLean up here on Barnett with Kern on third, Gonzalez on second. No outs here in the top of the third. Pitch from Barnett. Breaking ball. That's in there for strike two. McLean was about a quarter of the way down to first base. Home plate umpire Mickey Garcia says that caught the inside corner, so it's a full count.
And McLean has a good eye. Used to a pretty tight strike zone in the Pac-12. Says it's been bigger than he's expected it here in the Cape League, but trying to adjust, and one of the better hitters at seeing balls and strikes out of the hand, as Harrison Eaton and I talked about last night on the radio broadcast.
3-2, that's grounded weakly to the left side of the infield. The throw over from the shortstop Freeland to Jones is not in time. So yet another hit for the Gatemen here as Kern scores. Gatemen up 1-0. Gonzalez advances to third. McLean on first. Runners on the corner, still no outs for Owen Diodati.
Well, it wasn't pretty, but with 2 strikes, Sean McLean making something happen, legging out an infield single, and more importantly, driving in a run, puts the Gatemen in the lead for the first time in recent memory.
Does feel like it's been a while since the Gatemen have been on top, so certainly feels good for the Gatemen as they visit Brewster here tonight. Pitch to Diodati, that's a fastball. High and inside for ball 1.
I say it's a long time since they've led. They actually led for the majority of the game in Falmouth before losing a heartbreaker. It was tied in the 8th and then, or tied in the 7th, and then they lost it in the 8th, unable to come up with a run in the top of the 9th.
They've had their share of those in recent games as Diodati fouls that one off. Count even at 1. So it's Gonzalez on third and McLean on first. And Kern scored on that last hit from McLean. So still no outs for Diodati, again in the 3 spot tonight. And a patented time call from Owen Diodati.
And it's getting comical now. I'm surprised some of these home plate umpires tonight, Mickey Garcia giving him a late time. And sometimes these pitchers are right about to start that motion, even so far along that they can't pull up. That was the case as the pitch came in from Mason Barnett, but Diodati got it off.
So another 1-1. Diodati pops this toward foul territory down the right field line. That one is fair. So another single here for the Gatemen as Gonzalez is in to score. 2-0. McLean on second, Diodati on first. Gatemen lead 2-0 in the top of the third.
4 consecutive singles for the Gatemen. None of them particularly hard hit, with the exception of Cade Kearns to lead off the inning. But they've been putting the ball in play, and whether it's a barrel or not, hitting it hard enough to drive in a couple runs here in the top of this third inning.
Gatemen will take it. It's Tommy Troy who grounded out to second in his first at bat in the first.
First night in the 4-hole for Tommy Troy. He was 0 for 3 with a walk last night.
First pitch to Troy. That's a curveball from Barnett. Catches the outside corner for strike 1.
Barnett threw the curveball there, but still leaning heavily on his fastball. It's a high spin offering, likes to come with it at the top of the strike zone. Doesn't move a whole lot, but.
Another breaking ball. Troy chops that weakly toward the left side of the infield, fielded by Barnett. Tosses over to Jones to record the out. First one retired for Barnett. Here in the third, it's Jim Jarvis who singled in the second, next up for Wareham.
Tommy Troy's retired. That's out number 1. But as I was saying, the fastball from Barnett doesn't move a whole lot. Just kind of rides through the zone, but good velocity, usually sitting at 92 to 94 miles per hour with that pitch. And he has 3 different off-speed pitches from which he can choose when he's ahead in the count. Now the infield in for Brewster with runners at second and third.
First pitch to Jarvis. He grounds sharply down the right field line. And Jarvis looking over to make sure everyone's okay. That one ripped down that right field line. Courtesy from Jarvis to check in, make sure everyone's okay. Looks like that's the case, fortunately. So it's 0-1 to the shortstop out of Alabama. So McLean able to reach third. Diodati headed to second on the ground out from Troy. The 0-1 to Jarvis. He lines into right field. Moving to his left is Lanzilli. He'll make the catch. Heading home is McLean. Able to slide around the tag and in safely. The third run of the third inning for the Gatemen. The sacrifice fly from Jim Jarvis gives the Gatemen a 3-run lead. So it's the 10th RBI of the season for Jim Jarvis. Third run in the top of the third for the Gatemen. Yohandy Morales up next.
Yeah, Handy 1 for 4 last night with that triple. Came into this game hitting 162, struck out in the second inning.
First pitch, yo-yo fouls back toward the backstop, and it's Diodati. He's still on second. He stayed put on that sacrifice fly. It was a good throw from the right fielder Lanzilli, but good base running from McLean, able to avoid that tag and slide in safely. So 2 outs, 0-1, Diodati on second for Yohandy Morales. In the top of the third, Gatemen leading 3-0. And the pitch, that's a curveball. And there on the bottom of the zone, we see again, Nick, that strike zone sometimes looks a little bit bigger here than hitters are expecting. It was interesting talking with Jack Sadigan as well last game that SEC strike zone is very different from the one up here and how it can vary across conferences.
It really does. That one escapes from the catcher. That'll be scored as a pass ball. Diodati moves into third. But that's a good point you make, Owen. And talked with Sean McLean before the game a little bit about that. Of course, Morales hailing from the ACC. The SEC zone is considered one of the smallest, and it's an adjustment for hitters, especially the guys coming from USA baseball, also in a summer league, but that's been a tight zone from what I've heard.
So it's 1-2 to Morales. He takes a check swing on a curveball in the dirt, but does go around. A frustrating end to a great inning for the Gatemen. They add 3 here in the top of the third, and that's where we are. Gatemen lead 3-0 over the Brewster Whitecaps on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Beat the heat and join us at Waterways, a water experience unlike any other this side of the bridge. Open daily, head over to the water park on Route 28, the Cranberry Highway.
The Gatemen would like to thank Wareham Country Market for helping to feed the Gatemen players and staff after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from the field on Route 6, offering a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and a deli.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings, to boats. Village Signs has proudly served Southern New England for over 35 years. Visit them at villagesigns.inc.com for all your signage needs.
We enter the bottom of the third. Gatemen leading 3-0 after putting up 3 in the top of the third. Owen Sughrue and Nick Magas here from Stony Brook. It was a great inning for the Gatemen, and as the PA announcer here for Brewster reads some of the former Whitecap players now in the MLB. Interesting to note, Aaron Judge played here in 2012, Chase Utley in 1998. So many good players for the Cape League, now having success in the MLB. It's Dylan Carter, the center fielder out of Texas Tech, leading things off for Brewster. He's in the 9 spot tonight. It's been 4 batters apiece in the bottom of the first and the bottom of the second for Brewster. So that leads us to Dylan Carter. First pitch from Soderstone To Carter, that's a fastball that misses high and outside. It's 1-0. And the pitch goes to the curveball. That one catches the inside part of the zone for strike one, count even at 1 to Carter. Carter batting 154 coming into tonight with 2 doubles. 1-1 misses low and inside.
Carter out of Texas Tech, playing at a very good baseball school. Didn't see a ton of playing time this year.
Swing and a miss from Carter on the 2-1. Count even at 2, a fastball from Soderstrom.
Hit just 207, 1 home run, 15 RBI at Texas Tech in the Big 12.
2-2, that one's hit well into center field. Backing up is Gonzalez, and he's able to make the catch for out number 1. Well struck from Carter, but ending up in out number 1 in the bottom of the 3rd for the Gatemen.
And Soderstrom quietly putting together a very nice outing. He's yet to have a strikeout. He's put 3 runners on base through 2 1/3 innings, but has not allowed a run, and the stuff looks as good as advertised early in this game.
He has looked excellent to start this game. Didn't have a ton of strikeouts. 52 and 62 2/3 this past season. As the fastball misses inside to the leadoff man, Mac Bingham, but just effective in other ways. And he's had 1 walk, hit a batter in the 1st, but he has been very solid. 1-0 goes back to the curveball. That one misses low. First base umpire Jeffrey Merzel says that Bingham did not go around.
Not sure what he calls that pitch. It's moving a little bit more like a slider. That would be my guess. Leaning on the fastball slider combination. Soderstrom is early.
And that one catches the outside corner for strike 1. So whatever that last pitch was, that one worked out. So it's 2-1 to the leadoff man Bingham.
Normally we'd be more prepared than this, but we asked everybody in that Gatemen dugout, what does Soderstrom throw? Nobody had a clue. And, of course, you don't go to the starting pitcher and ask him before his first start of the season, so we just had to let it go. We're making it up as we go along, I guess.
We are finding out as we go. It's 2-2 after yet another mystery pitch to Bingham. Count even at 2 with 1 out, nobody on. That one's a fastball.
It is moving like a slider. I'm almost positive that's what it is. I mean, that's what most of the Cape League pitchers, that's pretty much become throughout baseball the go-to off-speed pitch. A little bit easier to throw than a true 12-6 curveball, and when you get the lateral movement along with that vertical depth, it can be a very effective pitch.
2-2, that's a check swing, and he did go around. So the first strikeout of the night for Soderstrom. Mac Bingham 0 for 2 off of the strikeout here in the 3rd. It's Jake Thompson up next for the Whitecaps.
For Soderstrom, a 4.02 ERA this season at Cal State Northridge. His ERA has gone down in each of his 3 college seasons there. Says his favorite baseball memory, throwing 2 no-hitters as a high school senior out of Fresno, California. Threw 2 no-hitters in the same season.
First pitch, big sweeping breaking ball to Thompson. That ERA hovered around 4, I believe, for all of his seasons, but coming down steadily. And the next one is a fastball, so it's 1-1 to Thompson. Soderstrom again out of Cal State Northridge. And the 1-1 misses low.
And the trends for pitchers and hitters tend to go in opposite directions here in the Cape League. You have good hitters who come to the Cape and their batting averages tend to drop a little bit. And you have some pitchers who maybe don't have the best numbers in college, but switching to the wood bats for the hitters combined with maybe a bigger strike zone here, a more favorable pitcher strike zone on the Cape. You see the ERAs start to dip a little bit.
2-1 goes back to that slider. It's in there for a strike. Count even at 2 for Jake Thompson, the 3rd baseman out of Oklahoma State. 2 out, nobody on in the bottom of the 3rd. Gatemen leading 3-0. Another breaking ball from Soderstrom. That one misses low. The count's full for Thompson. He lined out to Jarvis in the 1st inning.
Thompson out of Oklahoma State. Transferred a few times now. Started at South Dakota State, then played at Palomar Community College, then redshirt year at Kentucky in 2019 before transferring to Oklahoma State because he wants to win a national championship. That's what he says is his goal, and searching for one now on his 4th school in his college career.
Circuitous college route for Thompson as he hits one well into foul territory. Coming over is Cade Kern, the right fielder. And he makes the catch. A nice catch from Cade Kern to retire the side. Gatemen leading 3-0 after 3 over the Brewster Whitecaps on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship. Franklin is proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. This summer, all 10 teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From the Cape to the majors, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin.
Feel the power of a GMC. Test drive one today at Robertson's GMC, down on Cranberry Highway.
We enter the top of the 4th on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Owen, Sughrue, Nick Magas here after 3. Gatemen leading 3-0 off of 3 runs in the top of the 3rd for Wareham. Kern, Gonzalez, and McLean, the 9, 1, and 2 hitters for the Gatemen, all scored. Mason Barnett still on the mound for the Whitecaps. It's Jimmy Crooks, the catcher, leading things off. First pitch to Crooks. He takes low and inside for ball 1. Crooks, another guy who hasn't spent all of his time at his current college, spent some time at Powerhouse McLennan College in Waco before transferring to Oklahoma. Huge sweeping breaking ball from Barnett, stays up high for ball 2.
And when you look at the combination for Crooks between defense and offense, obviously both very important parts of being a catcher.
And he lines one into shallow center. That will drop. So a single for Crooks. That one bringing to mind his single last night against Bourne in the 8th. So he's aboard, the first man for the Gatemen here in the 4th. Brings up Kellum Clark, who's DHing tonight.
But as you look at both sides of his game, and I'm comfortable saying this now that we've seen, I believe, every team twice now with this is the second game, the Gatemen playing Brewster, except Chatham tomorrow. We'll see them for the second time. Jimmy Crooks is the best two-way catcher I've seen on the Cape. I think I'm comfortable saying that now. He's a player who has a really bright future, without a doubt.
He's been fantastic. His first pitch to Kellum Clark misses low for ball 1. Clark batting 182 on the season coming into this game against Brewster. 3 doubles and an RBI. Pitch was a chopper toward the Gatemen dugout. Fouls that one off, count even at 1. Clark grounded out to second in the 2nd inning. It's Crooks on first, no outs. Gatemen leading 3-0 here in the top of the 4th. Pitch to Clark. He pops up to center field. Moving to his right is Carter, the center fielder. He makes the catch. Crooks back to first. So out number 1 for Cade Kern, who singled and scored in the 3rd.
It's been kind of a theme for guys coming into the Cape League after having late college seasons, colleges that go deep into the postseason. For Brannigan coming on late from Notre Dame, and then, of course, Cameron James and Callum Clark from Mississippi State playing into the College World Series. Slower starts for those guys as they come out of the Cape League. They've started, at least Brannigan has started to pick it up as of late, but for those guys coming in, playing baseball late into the college season, trying to make the transition to the Cape has proven to be probably the toughest for them compared to anybody in this league.
So sort of a good and bad for those guys. Certainly a good problem to have. Lots of success in the college season, but certainly an adjustment coming into the Cape League. Of course, the wooden bats, the obvious adjustment for a lot of hitters. As Kern fouls off the first pitch, it's 0-1 to the right fielder out of Ohio State.
Clark into this season, or at this point in the season, hitting 182. Cameron James still looking for his first hit, and Brannigan has really come on strong in the past week after a slow start.
The 0-1. Kern takes a check swing. And the appeal to the first base umpire, Jeffrey Merzel. He says he did not go around. I feel like the exception to that rule, Nick, a little bit would be Tommy Troy. I felt like he came in a little bit late, and he's been pretty good all throughout this season. Didn't seem to me like he had that type of adjustment period like we've seen from some other players.
It's different for everybody, but that's a perfect point you make, Owen. Yes.
And the 1-1, Kern takes a big swing. Crooks off to second. And a good throw from Byrne, able to make the tag as Biddison. Crooks tagged out. Attempted hit and run for the Gatemen, unsuccessful. Kern swinging at that high fastball. And Byrne, the catcher, able to make a good jump and throw out Crooks, as we've seen Crooks do so much this season. So it's 2 away, nobody on, 1-2 to Cade Kern. Pitch, that's a swing and a miss. That one in the dirt. Breaking ball, Kern jogging over to first. The throw from Byrne to Jones completes the inning. Gatemen go 1-2-3. So after 3.5, Gatemen still leading 3-0 on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
We've just tried it too many times. We've had.
Pitch hits the dirt after strike 3. They have to throw it over to first to complete the out.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
South Coast Health Operators of Charlton Memorial, St. Luke's, and Toby Hospitals delivers an unmatched combination of clinical excellence with a personal touch. They are proud to serve as Southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island's only not-for-profit health system, as well as the region's largest employer. South Coast Healthcare, plus something more.
Whether it's life insurance to safeguard your loved ones, an umbrella policy to protect your teen driver, or making sure your home is covered from storm damage, Rogers Gray is there to guide you. Insurance.
We enter the bottom of the 4th. Gatemen taking on the Brewster Whitecaps after 3 innings from Blake Soderston. He lived up to the hype, giving up just 1 hit, no runs, a walk, and a strikeout. It's Jack Brannigan on the mound now for Wareham.
Well, we were talking about Brannigan last inning as a hitter who's come on strong in the past week, but also 2 appearances on the mound in the Cape League. The two-way player out of Notre Dame has thrown a total of 3 innings here in Cape Cod, has not allowed an earned run, and struck out 3 in his most recent appearance. That was 2 innings at home against Cotuit in a 6-0 loss. Brannigan, the only Gateman pitcher in that game that did not allow a run. And here he is now for the 3rd time this season, wondering why we didn't see him in the lineup today as one of the better bats for the Gatemen. This is why.
First pitch to Chris Lanzilli. Right fielder out of Wake Forest takes a swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Lanzilli in the 3 spot tonight for the Brewster Whitecaps. Pitch from Brannigan. That one misses low and outside. off of the glove of Crooks. Lanzilli was hit by a pitch in the first inning, didn't get past first base. Count even at 1. Lanzilli perhaps still adjusting. We talked about that last inning as he takes nice breaking ball from Brannigan in there for strike 2. Lanzilli out of Wake Forest, and he hasn't had too many at-bats. He's 1 for 4 in the season coming into tonight. 1-2 from Brannigan. That one misses low and outside. Counts even at 2.
Lanzilli from Wake Forest, a 2018 freshman All-American.
2-2. That one's roped into the gap between left and center. Backing up is Gonzalez. That one takes a bounce off the wall. Gonzalez fires to Jarvis at shortstop, and that keeps Lanzilli at second. Leadoff double for Lanzilli to start things off in the bottom of the 4th for Brewster.
Well, Lanzilli showing off some of that power. He's got an explosive swing. He's an athletic defender, and going into his senior year at Wake Forest, went undrafted this year, looking for a place to play. So still looking to be signed as a free agent, but he's a guy who hit .259 this year, 11 home runs in a tough ACC conference. His best year actually in 2019 when he hit .347 with 16 home runs. That was his sophomore year. But here with nobody aboard, or check that, nobody out, he's aboard at second base to lead off the inning for the Brewster Whitecaps.
Castillo takes a fastball, catches the upper part of the zone from Brannigan. It's 0-1 to the DH out of Cal Baptist. No outs, Lanzilli on second. And Castillo slices that one foul over the Whitecaps dugout. So it's 0-2 for Castillo. He lined out to Jim Jarvis at shortstop in the 1st. Brannigan delivers. That one lifted into left field. That gets over the glove of McLean at 3rd. And Lanzilli will hold at 3rd base. It's runners on the corners, no outs. 2 hits to start things off. The double from Lanzilli, now the single opposite field from Castillo. He's on 1st.
Well, Brannigan had an excellent 3 innings to this point on the season, but comes into this one, gives up the double, then the base hit, puts runners on the corners. All good things must come to an end as Brannigan looks like he's running into a little bit of trouble here in the bottom of the 4th.
It's Spencer Jones, the first baseman out of Vandy, up next for the Whitecaps.
Singled his first time up, did Jones.
First pitch, Jones takes inside. Again, haven't seen too many guys out of Vanderbilt. Bit of an influx of Mississippi State guys for Wareham. Cameron James, and of course Kellum Clark. Maybe they were a little bit happier to see Spencer Jones than Jones was to see them. Mississippi State, of course, beating Vanderbilt in the CWS as that one's ripped into center field, and that will score Lanzilli from 3rd base. RBI single from Spencer Jones. That cuts the lead to 3-1. And it's been 3 straight hits to start off the bottom of the 4th for Wareham as George Carlejo will go and have a quick visit with Jack Brannigan. Jimmy Crooks joining the conversation as well.
Well, Jack Brannigan just clearly doesn't have his best stuff right now, and that will happen from time to time when you're a pitcher. But something we talked about before this game, Owen, is what you do when you're in that position, when you take the mound and you're not feeling it on that day. And we talk about it because of Spencer Miles' performance yesterday. Walked 3 batters in the first inning, loaded the bases, and battled through that inning without allowing any runs, and then came back and threw 3 2/3 innings of 1-run baseball from that point forward. After the pitch count got up in that first inning, he struggled early and buckled down and got it done without having that feel for his curveball. Brannigan in a similar situation now, not without his best stuff, is on the mound with a couple runners aboard, has not recorded an out in this inning, and pitching with the lead, needs to figure out how to get through this one without giving up too many more and keeping the Gatemen in this ballgame, hopefully with the lead in this ballgame.
It reminds me of 2 tennis players, Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras, and one of the compliments they would have to say about each other is that, when one of them was playing their best tennis, they could still lose to the other. And your objective when you're playing, obviously, is to win. And so many times in sports, as that breaking ball misses low to Byrne, so many times you have to find a way to win on a day when you don't have everything. You've got to sometimes be scrappy, sometimes accentuate your strength, sometimes cover up with some of your weaknesses. And we saw Miles do a great job on that last night. It's 1-0, and that one looks like it hit Byrne in the helmet. It got behind Crooks. We aren't totally sure what the situation was with Byrne, whether he fouled that off. He's staying in the batter's box. So it's 2-0. That one perhaps went off the glove of Jimmy Crooks.
I believe it just, I think Crooks just straight up missed it, which is a rare error for Jimmy Crooks, but it didn't hit Byrne, and he didn't foul it off because the count is 2-0. So they're going to say I'm not sure if it'll be scored as a wild pitch or a passed ball, but either way, the runners advance.
All right, so some good process of elimination from Nick. That one's a pass ball. We get confirmation from Jack Sadegan that was, in fact, the correct call. It's 3-0 to Curtis Byrne. Pitch, that one misses high and tight. 4 straight balls from Brannigan.
I'm not sure if Brannigan's going to see another hitter.
Yeah, this has been shaky inning from Brannigan. It's Castillo on third, Jones on second, Byrne on first. Crooks will walk out slowly to have a visit with Brannigan. Still no outs in the bottom of the fourth.
And I bet Caralejo's not far behind, just trying to get an emergency warm-up going from whoever is in that Gateman pen right now. Brannigan came on in this inning, quickly ran into trouble, and has not recorded an out, already giving up a run with the bases loaded. And can't see the Gateman bullpen from our angle here, but my guess is there is activity, there is quick activity, and it won't be long before we see a new arm.
So some nonverbal communication from Crooks to Caralejo. And now Caralejo will have a visit with Brannigan, perhaps buying some time here, Nick, for whoever's warming up in the pen. The whole infield will join in on the conversation. And Brannigan heads back to the dugout after a tough outing for him. And when we come back, we'll have the name of the new pitcher. It's bases loaded for the Brewster Whitecaps in the bottom of the fourth. No outs on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham and Marion for over 40 years with steak and cheese, pizza, and subs. Located in Shaw's Plaza, head on over for pickup or let them deliver to you. Located on the Cape Cod Canal, Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is the area's newest rental independent living, assisted living, and memory care community. With some of the area's largest apartments and an ultra-inclusive monthly service package, Keystone Place is a life-fulfilling retirement community unlike any other. Discover Keystone Place, the best option in Cape Cod. Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham.
One of the Gatemen's favorite places for their post-game meals is Cool Cone, where you can get anything from fried clams and fried chicken to an ice cream sundae, and then top it all off with a round of mini golf. Cool Cone, located on Route 6 on the Wareham-Marion line.
Still in the bottom of the fourth, it's Ethan Chenault on the mound for the Gatemen. Jack Brannigan faced 4 batters. Gave up 1 run. Bases are loaded for Chenault, the right-hander.
Well, Chenault on for the 7th time this year. All 7 of his appearances have been in relief. Thrown 7 2/3 innings, struck out 7, walked 3. and into this one with a 3.52 ERA. Much like Hunter Skilperort, the ERA is a little bit higher, but much like Skilperort, probably the two most reliable bullpen arms for the Gatemen. Chenault came onto this season a little bit later, but they've used him in a lot of different situations and a lot of high leverage situations, and in just about every appearance, he's gotten the job done. His toughest outing came back on July 14th. That was his most recent against Cotuit. Threw 3 innings, gave up 3 earned runs, but had not allowed an earned run in the Cape League season before that.
Chenault out of UNC Wilmington. First batter he'll face, it's Alex Freeland. Shortstop out of Central Florida. He drew a walk in his first at-bat in the second. Bases loaded, no outs. Gatemen up 3-1. First pitch from Chenault to Freeland. That's a fastball that catches the outside corner for strike 1.
Chenault, the scouting report, as we always say, it's a sinker. Likes to get ground balls. We'll keep the sinker low. We'll keep the slider low. And a ground ball would be a nice thing in this situation with the bases loaded and nobody out.
Force play at any base. The 0-1 to Freeland. That's in there on the inside corner for strike 2. So a good start here from Chenault.
Freeland, a .225 hitter on the Cape. Walked in his first trip. 0-2 count here. Has not recorded an at-bat in this game.
Chenault gets the sign from Crooks. He deals, and that one misses way above Crooks and took a fortuitous bounce, as we've discussed a little bit tonight, right off the backstop back to Crooks. Looked like a breaking ball there that just totally slipped off the hands of Chenault. Pretty benign given what could have been.
Absolutely right. The one thing it does tell us, he's not using sticky stuff. No sticky stuff checks here in the Cape Cod League, unlike the MLB, but Chenault looked like he needed some there.
It's 1-2. That one's another breaking ball, much closer, not quite close enough. Count even at 2. Castillo, of course, held up at third after that last wild pitch from Chenault. So Castillo at third, Jones on second, Byrne on first for the Whitecaps. Freeland, the lefty, at bat. He's in the 7 spot tonight. The pitch from Chenault. That one's grounded toward the middle of the infield. Troy collected, wasn't able to throw to first, didn't have a great handle on it, was able to make the force play at second, which sends Byrne back to the dugout. So that gets the first out of the inning. Castillo able to score on that, so it's 3-2 Gatemen. Looked like Troy just didn't quite get a good handle on it. If he could have, you'd think he would tag second, fire over to Morales at first, and try to get Freeland. But just wasn't able to make the transition from glove to hand, but does get one important out.
That he does. There was the ground ball that Chenault was looking for, and unfortunately his defense just didn't quite have his back. Tommy Troy got the lead runner, but didn't get the double play.
Pitch from Chenault. It's a breaking ball off the dirt, off the glove of Crooks. That will bring in Spencer Jones. We're tied here in the 4th. Freeland able to advance to second. So the 3, 4, 5 hitters all score for Brewster, still just 1 out. Nick Biddison, the second baseman at bat for Virginia. It's 0-1.
And Ethan Chenault just having trouble getting a grip on the baseball. Lost one that hit the backstop on a fly earlier in the inning, and that one didn't get anywhere near the plate.
Pitch to Biddison, that's in there for strike 1, count even at 1. Biddison, good season this past year at UVA, went 1 for 4 last night with 2 RBIs. Batting 146 on the Cape League season coming into tonight. The 1-1 from Chenault misses inside. He's gone back to that fastball. It's 2-1. It's Freeland on second. Game tied at 3. 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Fastball from Chenault, a good frame from Crooks, but Mickey Garcia, home plate umpire, still says that missed low, so it's 3-1. Chenault delivers, and that one misses low and outside, so it's a walk to Biddison. He's on first, Freeland's on second. 1 out for Dylan Carter, the center fielder out of Texas Tech.
That's the second walk of the inning for Gatemen pitching. The first charge to Jack Brannigan, this one to Ethan Chenault, and now the 6th man on base in a row for Brewster.
First pitch, the lefty Carter fouls off to the backstop. Carter flied out to Gonzalez in center for his first and only at bat so far tonight. That was back in the 3rd. Carter batting .207 this past year for the Red Raiders. The 0-1 is in there for strike 2. Carter took that fastball at the inside corner. So Chenault up 0-2 on the number 9 hitter for the Whitecaps. Biddison on first and Freeland on second. The 0-2, that one misses just low. Gateman dugout thought that one might be a called strike 3.
Well, the Gatemen aren't as upset about that one specifically as they are about a few calls in general in these last 2 at-bats. Some close pitches, and home plate umpire Mickey Garcia just not quite calling them in favor of the Gatemen.
1-2. That one also misses low. That one was close too.
It was ball 4 to Biddison that Jimmy Crooks was really asking the home plate umpire about, but now a couple pitches very close, as you said, and just a strike zone starting to vanish before our eyes.
So it's 2-2 to the center fielder out of Texas Tech. 1 out. Chenault delivers, and that's a strike 3 called. Crooks fires right back to Chenault. 2 outs. Head back to the top of the order for the Whitecaps. It's Mac Bingham, the left fielder out of Arizona. Bingham is 0 for 2 tonight. He struck out swinging in his last at bat in the 3rd. Two outs, 2 men on for the Whitecaps. Right-hander Chenault delivers a curveball that stays up high for ball 1.
Bingham not exactly what I expected for the Brewster leadoff man. Into this one hitting 130. There's some guys more toward the bottom of the lineup that are having good seasons so far, but Bingham playing out in left field with very good speed, just not getting on base as much as they would like this season.
And he grounds that one through the middle part of the infield. Gonzalez will gather at third. The throw to third is not in time. Sliding in safely is Nick Biddison, so Freeland comes around to score. And the Whitecaps now lead 4-3 after the RBI single from Mac Bingham.
Well, the Gatemen just struggling to put both phases of the game together. Last night, the pitching was there. They held a Bourne offense, a very potent Bourne offense, to just 1 run, couldn't get the bats going, and didn't score. This time, get out to an early lead when the bats were going in the top of the 3rd. Brewster comes back with a 4 spot in the bottom of this 4th inning and takes the lead right back as the pitching has just fallen off the rails for the Gatemen.
It has been a tough 4th for Gatemen pitching. First pitch to Jake Thompson. Misses low for ball 1. It's runners in the corners, still 2 outs. Biddison on third after he drew a walk 4 batters ago. And Bingham's single, he resides on first. The 1-0 to Thompson. That's in there for a strike. Thompson, the 9th batter of this bottom of the 4th inning for the Whitecaps.
All 4 runs which have scored will be charged to Jack Brannigan.
Runner goes. That one's roped into center field. Backing up is Gonzalez. That's over his head. And that one bounces over the center field fence for a ground rule double. Able to score was Biddison. And held up at third base. He was in to score, was Mac Bingham, but he will stay at third. Double from Jake Thompson. That gives the Whitecaps a 5-3 lead here in the bottom of the fourth.
And the Whitecaps have officially batted around as they send Chris Lanzilli to the plate. He led off this inning with a double. And trouble continues.
So it's Chris Lanzilli, the right fielder out of Wake Forest, up next for the Whitecaps as he takes fastball that misses low and away for ball one. Thompson on second, Bingham on third. Pitch from Chenault, that's a breaking ball. It catches the inside corner, count even at 1. Pitch from Chenault. That one's grounded right back to him. He will underhand to Morales to record out number 3. Whitecaps add 5 in the bottom of the fourth. They lead 5-3 over the Gatemen. That's where we stand after 4 on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Redshirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedoms. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Redshirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 brand.
Back for the top of 5. The Gatemen just watched a 3-run lead disappear before their eyes. It is now 5-3 after we entered the bottom of the fourth, leading 3-0. And the Bats have some work to do. Fortunately, the Gatemen will start with the top of their order. Tres Gonzalez, Sean McLean, and then Owen Diodati before however many more they can send to the plate in an attempt to take the lead right back in the top of the 5th. Nick Magas alongside Owen Sughrue after a long inning here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Really tough bottom of the fourth for the Gatemen. We're just not used to seeing that from Wareham. They've been so good defensively.
First pitch fastball taken upstairs from Tres Gonzalez. Mason Barnett back out on the mound. 3 runs scored in the 3rd, but now he takes the mound for the 5th. So those are the only 3 he's allowed to this point, and gets a fastball over the plate to Tres Gonzalez for strike 1.
Gonzalez has been great at the plate tonight, done his job as the leadoff man, reached twice, scored in the 3rd.
And fouls that one off, quickly down 1-2. Barnett, 16 appearances this year at Auburn. Only 6 of them were starts, but my guess is he's a guy they're looking for to be starting games next season. He's working deep into this outing here, into his 5th inning of work. And you have to believe the pitch count is getting up there as there's a breaking ball taken outside. Good eye from Tres Gonzalez, evens the count at 2.
We don't see too many pitchers make their way past often 3 or 4 innings, even as starters. So a statement here.
Tried with the high fastball. Gonzalez left it upstairs. The count goes full. Leadoff man in the top of the 5th. Nobody aboard, nobody out. Gonzalez waits for the payoff pitch, now chops it over the middle. Biddison fields it on a couple of hops and a good throw to first. Spencer Jones held the bag, and that's out number 1.
Yeah, that one a little shaky for Jones. It was a bit of a high throw from Biddison. But thankfully for Biddison, Jones is 6'7", so that one Not as big a deal for him as it might be for someone else. Out number 1 in the top of the 5th.
6'7" with wheels. When he did play for Vanderbilt this year, it was mostly in the outfield, believe it or not. But a big target over there at first base, and he saved a couple errors so far from this Brewster infield as Sean McLean waves and misses through a breaking ball, strike 1. Slight breeze still blowing out toward dead center field. McLean at the plate, waits for the 0-1. Same pitch, same result. As he comes up empty on another breaking ball, he's behind 0-2.
Yeah, nearly identical. You're right, Nick. Those first 2 pitches to McLean, out in front of both of them, both in the dirt, but 2 strikes.
The 0-2, that's the fastball that's fouled off. Mason Barnett coming at the Gateman 2-hitter. Sean McLean pitching backwards. Breaking ball, and now a fastball. And interesting to see him start it off with that slider 2 times in a row, considering he's a guy who likes his fastball so much. Slider in the dirt there. Gets away from the catcher, but nobody on base, no harm done. McLean took it low for ball 1. McLean 1 for 2 with a strikeout and an infield single. A ball and 2 strikes on the third baseman as he sends a high fly ball out toward left field. Mac Bingham settling under it, now drifting toward his glove side and making the catch in the left center field gap for out number 2.
Good strike there from McLean. And that wind we talked about how it was shifting earlier. That one favoring these right-hand pole hitters now, blowing out pretty much directly to left field, but McLean didn't quite get enough on that one.
So the Gatemen in need of a 2-out rally here. Still plenty of baseball left to be played, though, as we stand in the top of the 5th. Diodati at the plate. And he takes a fastball inside from Mason Barnett. Barnett making his 5th start of the Cape League season. A 4.80 ERA coming into this one. It's ticked a few notches higher than that now after that 3 spot for the Gatemen in the 3rd inning. As Diodati cuts and misses through a breaking ball, that evens the count at 1.
Diodati left stranded in the 3rd after their 3-run inning. Interestingly, the Whitecaps left runners on 2nd and 3rd as well.
Diodati leaves the fastball upstairs.
That's something, you know, at the time when Diodati left on 3rd, 3 runs, it seems like a great thing for the Gatemen. But, you know, of course, as the game goes on, gets closer, might be something they regret.
Good, hard slider from Mason Barnett. Diodati swung through it. That evens the count at 2. In a fastball count, 2-1 to a fastball hitter. Mason Barnett with a confident breaking ball right on the back foot of the lefty Diodati. And the barrel right over the top of it from number 12. Outfield straight up, spread out. Diodati waiting for a 2-2 pitch with 2 outs. Here it is, and that's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Mason Barnett comes back out, sits him down 1-2-3 for the 2nd consecutive inning. The Gatemen go down. We'll send it to the bottom of the 5th, trailing 5-3.
Got legal trouble? Attorney Mark Deshays is here to help the greater New Bedford area with real estate and business law, estate planning, and probate. Visit him today.
After the game, visit El Mariachi on Main Street for the best Mexican food in Wareham. The cantina provides a delicious late-night snack accompanied by fun.
Back from Stony Brook Elementary on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Nick Magas here with Owen Sughrue. And after an inning the Gatemen would like to forget in the bottom of the 4th, they get a chance to try it again. Bottom 5, Chenault back on the mound. And the Gatemen trailing 5-3 to Brewster. Brewster, let's give them credit. They're not a bad team. Atop the East Division, a very good division, top to bottom, and a very tight division. Brewster in at 12-7-2. They have 26 points. Harwich just a point behind in second place. YD just 3 points behind the first place Brewster Whitecaps. They have 23 on the season. And the fifth place team, dead last in the East Division, is Chatham. They're only 5 points out of first place.
Yeah, tale of two divisions largely here in the Cape Cod League. Difference in the West Division between Bourne and Hyannis, who has had their struggles this season, is 31 points. So it's 5 in the East, 31 in the West. Very competitive division here in the East all the way through.
Fastball misses outside from Ethan Chenault. Chad Castillo, the batter. The difference between Bourne and Cotuit, the top two teams in the West Division, 13 points. As that one's driven out toward left field, Diodati coming on, and he has to pull up and let it play on a hop. Chad Castillo with a base hit to lead off the inning for the Whitecaps.
Good leadoff hit there from Castillo, and some scores around the league. Orleans leading the YD Red Sox in the top of the sixth, 8-3. Hyannis up on Falmouth in the bottom of the second, 2-0. Cotuit and Bourne scoreless in the bottom of the second, and Harwich and Chatham will play later on.
Hyannis trying to snap a 12-game losing streak. They are now 2-19 and quickly becoming the lovable losers of this entire Cape League as Spencer Jones stands in and takes strike one.
I am absolutely rooting for Hyannis.
Everybody's
no
rooting
shame.
for Hyannis. Everybody
no
wants.
Shame.
Yeah, exactly. Till we play him. It says Jack Sadegan down to our right. Chenault with an 0-1 count. Delivers a pitch to Spencer Jones, which is fouled off. Running from first base is Chad Castillo, who singled a moment ago. The Gatemen have a 4-game road trip. This is the first of those 4 games here at Brewster, at Chatham tomorrow, and then 2 at Hyannis. The 0-2 from Chenault, the slider taken in the dirt. Spencer Jones in the box, in the left-hand batter's box, 2 for 2 on the evening with 2 singles. Singled and scored a run in the fourth, part of that 5-run fourth inning for Brewster as Chenault kicks and fires out of the stretch, and there's the slider again, and it hit him. Been talking about a back foot slider all game. That one a little bit too literal from Ethan Chenault, put it right on top of the back foot of Spencer Jones, and now 2 aboard with nobody out in the 5th.
The third time Jones has reached tonight, 2 singles in the second and the fourth, and then getting hit there. And it was the nightmare scenario in the fourth for the Gatemen, and 2 aboard with no outs. Chenault still with some work to do here in the 5th.
Brannigan came out of the game after allowing a run, ended up allowing 4 earned, did not record an out. And Chenault didn't do him any favors coming on in relief. As the bunt is laid down, it trickles foul on the first base side. Curtis Byrne, the catcher, at the plate, trying to move the runners over with nobody out in the inning. Gateman came into the 4th, out hitting Brewster 7-1. Now it is a 5-3 game in favor of Brewster, both teams with 7 hits. No errors yet for the Gatemen. 1 for Brewster. That was a throwing error from the catcher, Curtis Byrne, who's now at the plate. Corners are in. Sean McLean at third. Yohandy Morales at first. Middle infielders pinch toward the second base bag as another bunt goes down. That's picked up in the air by Ethan Chenault, and now he throws to second to try and double off the runner, and it's wide. Jarvis got a glove on it, saved it from center field, but a bunting lineout, I guess is what you can call that. Curtis Byrne barreled it up, sent it straight back at the pitcher, Ethan Chenault, who made a shoestring catch and tried to double off the runner at second base. The throw was not there in time.
And not a play we'll see too often. Good heads-up play there from Chenault, thinking to throw back to second. Knows that those runners trying to advance. Castillo trying to get to third. Just not able to make the play and execute in the way he would have liked. A good stop from Troy.
Chenault delivers a fastball. That catches the top of the zone. First pitch strike to Alex Freeland, who's walked and grounded into a fielder's choice. The 0-1 misses outside. Brewster batted around in the 4th. They put up 5 runs in that inning. Now here they are in the bottom of the 5th. Runner at first, runner at second, 1 out, protecting a 5-3 lead. Freeland, the shortstop, waits for the 1-1. He grounds it left side. Jarvis coming in on it, fields it on the backhand side, tries to throw to first, and he has no play. Jarvis smartly faked that throw to first and then turned to third just to see if the runner was moving off the bag. He was not, and an infield single loads the bases.
Yeah, we've talked for a few games now how it just seems like there have been a couple of ground balls that have been just in the wrong place for Wareham. Of course, the one that stands out was that weak grounder in Falmouth that ended up scoring a few runs, but it was a good play from Jarvis. They're faking the throw, trying to bait Castillo into perhaps running for home and able to pick him off, but got the sense just as that was off of the bat of Freeland that it would be a tough play for Jarvis.
Jarvis was at double play depth as the first pitch misses outside to Nick Biddison, playing more up the middle than he normally would, and that was a grounder toward his normal position at shortstop, hit slowly. Had Jarvis been positioned in his normal spot, may have been able to make that play, but not as he was playing up the middle, as the first 2 pitches now to Nick Biddison, low and away. It's a 2-0 count on the second baseman. Biddison hitting around 140. Grounded out to the shortstop and walked. As Chenault gets a fastball over for strike 1. Biddison, mentioned him as a jack of all trades for Virginia Tech, played 6 defensive positions for Virginia Tech. Just about everything except right field, pitcher, and shortstop. Takes a breaking ball high and tight, sends the count to 3-1. Bases are loaded. 1 out in the inning. Brewster up 5-3. 3-1 hitters count on Nick Biddison. Likely see Chenault challenge him with the fastball as he can't afford to walk a hitter here. That would drive in a run. Actually, it looked like he tried with the breaking ball. It was fouled off. And a good pitch from Ethan Chenault gets him right back in this count. It's now 3-2.
And Biddison, 7 for 8 in stolen base attempts this past season for the Hokies. And talked about Jones and his speed. Jones, the first baseman, again, 6'7" out of Vanderbilt. A few speedy members of this Whitecaps offense.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Here's the payoff pitch. Fouled off again. Breeze continues to blow out toward the outfield fence, this time going toward left center. Been moving in that general direction all evening, but shifting around between the gaps. Favoring the hitters here at Stony Brook Elementary, where the Brewster Whitecaps play their home games. The 3-2 to Biddison misses upstairs. That's ball 4, and that brings home a run.
Well, good at bat there from Biddison, and that one's frustrating for the Gatemen, of course. Jones, who was hit by a pitch, and then the walk to Biddison. Just 2 hits in this inning for the Whitecaps. Looks like Carlejo will go on to the mound to visit Chenault.
Biddison to first after the walk. Alex Freeland moves to second. Spencer Jones moves to third. Chad Castillo, who led off this inning with a single in to score, and now a 6-3 lead for Brewster. Gatemen facing more trouble in the bottom of the 5th after Brewster put up a big crooked number in the bottom of 4. Meeting on the mound, Carlejo talking with his hands. Can't tell exactly what he's trying to tell Ethan Chenault, but it appears he'll leave him in the ball game. Gatemen have gone through a couple pitchers already. Soderson with an excellent start. Went 3 innings pitched in his first outing for the Gatemen. Didn't allow an earned run. Didn't allow a run, actually, as Brannigan came in. Didn't even record an out. 4 earned runs for him, and Chenault trying to battle through trouble here after coming on in relief in the 4th.
And this is the later part of the lineup for the most part that Chenault's seen. And the 4, 5, 7, and 8 hitters all reaching.
Bottom of the order now, Dylan Carter comes to the plate, fouls off the first pitch straight back to the screen. Carter 0 for 2 with a fly out to center and a strikeout. The outfielder out of Texas Tech waits for the 0-1 from Chenault. Misses low and inside. Count goes to 1-1. Bases still loaded here after Chenault walked home a run a moment ago. There was a meeting on the mound, and they elected to leave him atop the hill, and now 1-1 with one out in a 6-3 Brewster lead. Chenault sets, works from the belt, and now delivers another pitch inside. 2 balls and a strike now on Dylan Carter.
Chenault here just having some trouble finding the zone. Of course, the walk to Biddison in the last inning, it just had some more trouble controlling that fastball again than what we're used to seeing from Chenault.
Chenault delivers. Swung through a fastball to Dylan Carter and evens the count at 2. Double play in order. That's how the infielders play it, with a chance to get out of the inning with a ground ball. The 2-2 from Chenault. There's the ground ball to third base. Brannigan has it, comes home with it. They get the force at the plate, and that's all they get. Throw goes to third, not in time to get the runner who dove back safely, but a heads-up play by Sean McLean at third base, moving in on that ball, getting the throw to home plate, and cutting down the force play at the dish to record the second out of the inning.
Exactly right. A good play there from McLean. He knows exactly what the situation is, and of course, off of contact, Jones heading home to try to score, and after the ground ball, good throw there from McLean. Crooks thought about firing over to first, just wouldn't have time. Carter was already over there safely, so they do save a run. They get an out. Base is still loaded, though.
That one's down the right field line and fair off the bat of Mac Bingham. He's around first as the ball trickles into the corner. Cade Kern digs it out and gets it into the infield, but not before a bases-clearing double off the bat of the leadoff man, Mac Bingham.
Struggles continue for the Gatemen. Now trailing 8-3. Freeland and Biddison both able to score. Carter heading to third, and double from Bingham. Now 2 for 4 on the night. It has been a tough 4th and 5th inning for Wareham.
5 allowed in the bottom of the 4th, 3 allowed here in the bottom of the 5th, and they're not out of it yet as that's a ground ball, goes up the middle. Jarvis fields it at shortstop and throws to first for out number 3. Another crooked number goes up on the scoreboard. The Gatemen now down 8-3, trying to battle back as we go to the 6th.
Get your glow on at Compassionate Med Spa. They're compassionate about getting your perfect skin. Come get your glow on. Call 774-678-7319. Mention this ad and get 25% off at Hydra Facial.
The Mezzaluna Restaurant is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street in Buzzards Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a lunch menu that's the best deal in town, and serving some of Cape Cod's famous prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday. Come enjoy the feast at Mezzaluna, the Italian family restaurant.
Badger Sport is a leading provider of superior quality team uniforms and performance athletic wear, including performance t-shirts, fleeces, shorts.
Back for the 6th inning. Nick Magas here with Owen Sughrue. Gatemen Baseball Network Baseball. We love it. We love it even when we're down. It's 8-3 in favor of the Whitecaps. A 5 spot in the 4th, a 3 spot in the 5th after the Gatemen got out to a 3-0 lead. They're down in this one as the men in blue send bats to the plate. Gatemen in their navy blue uniforms tonight. Red lettering and numbering. As we thank you for joining us on this audio-only stream here from Stony Brook Elementary. Tommy Troy will come to the plate for Wareham, 0 for 2 with a couple of ground outs, 1 to the second baseman and 1 to the pitcher. And the Gatemen in need of not only base runners, but runs. Down 8-3 as we start this 6th inning, and a new arm on the mound. For Brewster, it's Hunter Owen.
Hunter Owen, the 6'6" left-hander out of South Portland, Maine, intending Vanderbilt, rising sophomore. This is his 3rd appearance of the Cape League season. 0 ERA so far with 3 innings pitched as Troy takes the curveball in for strike 1, giving up just 2 hits and 4 strikeouts.
Hunter Owen went 5 innings to start the game for Brewster. He allowed 3 earned runs in his longest start of the season as Tommy Troy takes a couple of strikes, quickly down 0-2. Owen out of the windup, pitching to the leadoff man in this inning, Tommy Troy, who takes a fastball called strike 3 on the inside corner. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and Tommy Troy is retired.
I believe all called strikes, not the at-bat that Troy would have wanted. He's 0 for 3 on the night now, and Owen continuing his success.
So here's Jim Jarvis. Lefty-lefty battle here as he takes a fastball low. Jarvis 1 for 1 with a single and a sac fly. Sends a high fly ball that'll stay in the infield. Calling everybody off is the shortstop, Alex Freeland, and he throws the glove up to make the play for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down in the inning for the Gatemen. The last 8 batters now in a row have been retired between Hunter Owen and the starter, Mason Barnett. Yohani Morales stands in and took strike 1.
Good outing 2 for Barnett. Coming up as Yohani takes the breaking ball inside. 6 hits, 3 earned, 4 strikeouts, and he's gotten a lot of help from his offense tonight.
Breaking ball in the dirt, swung through and missed. Yohani Morales behind in the count, 1-2. Morales 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Trying to put something in play here. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning, first inning of work for Hunter Owen. The Gatemen go down in order for the 3rd consecutive time. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Wareham trailing 8-3.
Mosquito bites and ticks. No, yikes! When the bugs get scary, just call Mosquito Mary's 866-ASK-MARY or visit us at mosquitomarys.com.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedoms. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Serving southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island, Office Technology Group has been the area's source for advanced digital multifunctional copiers since 2009. Call Office Technology Group at 508-858-5825.
For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game. Back out there for the Gatemen. Came on in the fourth. Got three outs in the fifth, but not before allowing a number of runs. 4 earned charged to him so far as he's back out for the bottom of the sixth. Gatemen trying to battle through this one, down 8-3. As we thank you once again for joining us on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The bat coming to the plate for Brewster, Chris Lanzilli. 1 for 2 with a double and a hit by pitch. Took ball 1 from Chenault.
The Whitecaps have had 18 batters in these past 2 innings, going 3-4-5 to start things off.
There's a drive hit out towards center field. Gonzalez tracking it back toward the track and makes the catch. Pretty well hit fly ball from Chris Lanzilli, but not nearly deep enough to get over the head of Tres Gonzalez, who had a good beat on that ball and tracked it down with the wind blowing out in that direction.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there from Lanzilli. That one sounded good off the bat, but like you mentioned, Nick, not quite far enough to get over the head of Gonzalez, let alone out of this ballpark. So nice smooth first out for the Gatemen.
Breaking ball stays upstairs to the cleanup hitter, Chad Castillo. 2 for 3 with a couple singles and a couple runs scored. That pitch fouled off. A fastball from Chenault evens the count at 1. Castillo out of California Baptist University. Hit .333 with 3 home runs this season. One of those home runs was the first of the season for CBU. As that one's lifted out toward left field, Diodati should have a play on it, ranging toward the line, and he makes the catch.
So if you're Chenault, that's what you want here. There are 2 well-struck balls, the one from Lanzilli, perhaps a little bit more so than Castillo, but against the 3 and 4 hitters, 2 pop-outs, Chenault certainly will take that again, certainly following some of the struggles of the 2 previous innings.
So here's the second consecutive left-handed hitter to take on the righty Chenault. Misses upstairs with a breaking ball. 2 outs in the inning, bases empty. 8-3 deficit for Wareham. Chenault delivers, and it's a breaking ball fouled off the plate and into foul territory, picked up by Jimmy Crooks, the catcher. The 1-1 from Chenault. Lined to the right side, fielded on a hop by Tommy Troy, and a slick play to get the out at first base and retire the side. 1-2-3 inning for the Gatemen sends us to the 7th, still trailing by 5.
we enter the top of the 7th here at Stony Brook Elementary. Gatemen trailing 8-3. Owen, Sughrue, Nick Magas as we enter the 7th inning. As you mentioned at the end of the top of the 6th, Nick, Gatemen have gone 1, 2, 3 for the past 3 innings. We're back to Jimmy Crooks, who led things off in the 4th. He's in the 7th spot. It's Crooks, Clark, and Kern. 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Gatemen.
Looks like coming out of the dugout now is actually a pinch hitter. So for the Gatemen, Cameron James will stand in the designated hitter spot in place of his Mississippi State teammate, Callum Clark. So either way, it's Crooks first, who will face off against the man going into his sophomore year at Vanderbilt, the left-hander Hunter Owen. Worked through a clean first inning, sat the Gatemen down 1-2-3. Coming off a tough year at Vanderbilt, the ERA a few ticks over 10 in 14 appearances, 16 2/3 innings pitched.
First pitch to Crooks, that's a breaking ball in there for strike 1.
But like so many guys coming out here to the Cape League, trying to improve his draft stock after a tough season. Just a freshman year, pitched at Vanderbilt, and has not allowed an earned run on the Cape League so far. This is his 3rd appearance.
Another breaking ball. That one to Crooks misses low. Owen again out of South Portland, Maine. The count even at 1 to Crooks. Crooks again 1 for 1 last night with that pinch hit single to lead things off in the 8th. And Owen deals the 1-1. Good fastball on the inside part of the plate for strike 2. Crooks with 53 starts this past season for the Sooners. Batting .287, 18 doubles and 10 homers. Already has 2 on the Cape League season. The 1-2 for Owen. He grounds that foul just past the Whitecaps dugouts. The count will remain at 1-2.
Jimmy Crooks spent a year at McLennan College. Transferred there after the COVID season. Transferred to Oklahoma, that is, out of Euless, Texas.
1-2 from the left-hander Owen. That's a called strike 3 on the inside corner. So Crooks heads back to the dugout. It's Cameron James, as you mentioned, Nick, coming in for his Mississippi State teammate, Callum Clark, at DH.
Well, this role was reversed last night. Cameron James 0-for, and then Callum Clark came on late in the game to pinch hit for him. Clark getting the start today, and now after Clark goes 0-for-2, James into pinch hit. James still looking for his first hit of the Cape Cod League season.
Gatemen had some success when they went from Schmeltz AC to AC Schmeltz. So they hope for similar success here, going from James Clark now to Clark to James.
Clark James sounds like an old actor, like from the 20s.
It's possible.
It's a Clark James movie from the 20s.
So it's 1-2 to James. James, for all we know, not a 1920s actor. It's 2-0 to the DH. Left-hander Owen delivers, and that one gets past the glove of Byrne. Looks like he almost got a glove on that one, but just went over the right foot of James. So it's 3-0 to the righty out of Mississippi State. Pitch from Owen. That one misses low and outside. So 4 straight balls. James is aboard. Brings up Cade Kern, the right fielder out of Ohio State. He's in the 9 spot tonight. So the righty Kern settles into the batter's box with James on first. One out here in the top of the 7th. First pitch from Owen. That's in there for a strike. It's 0-1 to the right fielder. Buckeye is 1 for 2 tonight with a single in the third. He scored in that inning. Gatemen scored 3. Fastball misses low. Count even at 1 for Kern. Kern, again, who did not play last night, coming into tonight batting 177 with 2 homers and 11 RBI. That pitch misses outside. It's 2-1. James takes his lead on first. 2-1, 1 out in the top of the 7th to Kern. Fouls that one off. That was a high fastball.
That was a pitch that Kern couldn't get a piece of. The last time we saw him, swung through it on a hit and run, and it was an elevated fastball, almost no chance for him to catch up on it. But either way, hung the runner out to dry. It was Crooks running from first base, who was thrown out at second by a mile, and sparks the debate that we can get into another time. You know, how do you feel about the hit and run in that situation, or even the hit and run in general, because it hasn't treated the Gatemen too kindly this season.
Hasn't this whole season. That was back in the 4th. As Kern fouls another one off. Count stays at 2-2.
It was a situation that it was a high fastball. Kern couldn't get a piece of it with the runner going, and then he had 2 strikes struck out on the very next pitch. So not only did you shoot down a runner and you run him into trouble, but you also essentially took the bat out of the hands of, while he's been a quiet hitter lately, a guy who had a single in his first trip and scored a run.
Kern out of Archbold, Ohio, 2-2. He lines this one toward right field, and that one drops fair. So Kern is into second with a double, his second hit of the night. James is on third. Runners on second and third now for Tres Gonzalez, the leadoff man. He's 2 for 3 on the night.
Well, that's a nice job from Cade Kern, not trying to do too much with a tough pitch to hit. Just stayed inside out with the swing, fought it off his hands the other way, and down the line for extra bases. Kern, a young hitter coming off his freshman year at Ohio State, who had struggled with that earlier in the year. But this time, taking with what the pitcher gives him, and a good pitch from Hunter Owen. Either way, he turns it into double bases. Extra bases, excuse me, a double. Double bases.
So double bases for Kern. I think we'll keep that, Nick. The first pitch to Gonzalez is in there for a strike. Gonzalez wearing his Michigan gloves. Jack Stegan asking Gonzalez about those gloves to start things off. He said he got them from Ted Burton. So from Ohio State gloves of Kern to Michigan gloves for Gonzalez.
Those two don't pair well.
They sure don't. Teammates here in Wareham. It's 0-2 to Gonzalez. Gonzalez at center tonight at Georgia Tech. Would usually be wearing Georgia Tech gloves, but tonight sporting those from Michigan. Similar colors.
The intercollegiate exchange.
And he grounds this one to the right side of the infield. Second baseman Biddison fires over to Jones, but James does score. Gatemen now trail by 4 here in the top of the 7th. Kern advances to third. Runners on the corners with 1 out for Sean McLean, third baseman out of Arizona State.
We'll wait a moment for a mound meeting. Sean McLean will be the batter. We expect him to face Hunter Owen, who's done a fairly good job to this point, has allowed a run in this inning after a walk to Cameron James and then a double by Cade Kern. Tres Gonzalez scored James from third with the ground out a moment ago. So McLean comes to the plate, 1 for 3 with an infield single, a strikeout, and a flyout. And the right-handed batter will face the southpaw out of Vanderbilt, Hunter Owen.
So Sean McLean, he's 1 for 3 on the night. Kern, the lone base runner, he's on third. McLean singled and scored in the third. Gatemen trying to cut back into this lead for Brewster, down 8-4 here in the top of the 7th. The fastball from Owen misses low and inside, the third baseman. McLean 2 for 8 coming into tonight with an RBI. 0 for 3 last night with the walk. The 1-0, big breaking ball, just misses. Owen shrugs that one off. He can't understand how that one wasn't a strike. That one looked good from here, but it's 2-0.
Well, we talked about this earlier. Sean McLean has one of the best eyes of anybody in this league, let alone on this Gateman team.
And that fastball, that's in there for a strike. That one looked inside, but perhaps all things come out even.
That's what you call a makeup call.
2-1. That one misses low and inside. Another take from McLean. So it's 3-1, 2 outs. Kern on third. Hunter Owen still on the mound for the Whitecaps. He delivers. And McLean fouls that one off up high over the backstop fence. Count is full. Gatemen trailing 8-4. Payoff pitch coming from Owen. And that one just misses low. McLean was heading to first, thought that there might be a strike 3 call. Didn't hear anything and headed down to first. So runners on the corners for Owen Diodati.
Well, Sean McLean showing off his plate discipline once again. Took a number of close pitches very confidently and reaps the benefits as he is able to take first base on balls.
So a meeting of the Owens here on the mound and at the plate. That
You've been waiting to say that all inning, haven't you?
Well,
Owen
I have.
Sughrue calling the Hunter Owen Diodati matchup.
Sometimes things just work out.
Yeah, right.
So the 1-0 to Owen Diodati misses inside for ball 1. And the left-hander delivers. That one, another fastball that misses up high. It's Kern still on third after drawing a walk. McLean on first. Gatemen trailing 8-4 with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Pitch just misses inside. Third fastball in a row to Diodati. And third straight ball. It's 3-0. Diodati was 1 for 3 on the night with a single in the third. He awaits the 3-0. That misses upstairs. So 4 straight balls to Diodati. Second walk in a row from Owen. And the bases are loaded for Tommy Troy. Again, batting cleanup tonight. That brings the tying run to the plate for the Gatemen. Tommy Troy at the cleanup spot, 0 for 3 tonight. He struck out looking on 3 pitches in his last at-bat. That was in the last inning in the 6th. 2 outs, bases juiced to the second baseman out of Stanford. First pitch is a breaking ball from Hunter Owen that misses up high.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm surprised to see Hunter Owen facing Tommy Troy here. It's a lefty-righty matchup. Would have been a good time to go to the pen after 3 walks in this inning.
Fastball misses low. It's 2-0 to Troy.
And 2 straight balls to Tommy Troy. And now the catcher, Curtis Byrne, will call time, and they'll go have a chat about it on the mound. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the inning. And Tommy Troy, the tying run at the plate.
And though Troy has struggled, we know that he's so capable at the plate. 259 before this game tonight with a double, 3 triples, team leading 3 triples, a homer, and 6 RBI.
Hunter Owen has struggled this year at Vanderbilt, but Tim Corbin, head coach at Vanderbilt, has great things to say about him. Says he's one of the most industrious young men that they've ever brought into their program. Hunter is on an upward trajectory as we speak, is what Tim Corbin says about him.
So 2-0 to Troy. Fastball on the inside corner for strike 1. That one a tough pitch for Troy, just about knee level. Good pitch from Owen.
Sam Bello, the right-hander, up and working in the pen for the Whitecaps.
And this one's ripped into left field. Backing up is the left fielder Bingham, and the center fielder Carter converges to make the catch. Good piece of hitting from Tommy Troy, but the Gatemen leave them loaded. They score 1 in the top of the 7th. They trail 8-4, and it's time to stretch here at Stony Brook on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Can we unplug these and plug these back?
Hello.
I don't know what to do.
Back to the bottom of the 7th. Gatemen trailing 8-4. New pitcher on the mound for the Gatemen. It's Elias Saul. It's his 4th appearance of the season. He has 1 start. He's gone 4 innings so far this season with an 11.25 ERA. It's Curtis Byrne, the catcher, up first for the Whitecaps. And the 0-1 just misses outside. The count even at 1. Byrne out of TCU. Comes into tonight batting .278. And he pops this one way up high, but foul. Over the right field bleachers. And a good attempt here from a young fan watching this game. He had his glove ready, just went over his glove by a couple feet. Thankfully, didn't hit him anywhere else. And it's like he ended up with the souvenir. Clap from the Whitecaps fans, as it's a swing and a miss from Byrne for strike 3. He goes down for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th. Brings up Alex Freeland, the shortstop out of Central Florida. And he's reached all 3 times tonight. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th, singled in the 6th, and scored both times. He walked in the 2nd. He was stranded at first.
First strikeout for Eli Saul.
And the pitch to the lefty Freeland. That's a swing and a miss from the shortstop.
Saul came on in relief this inning for Ethan Chenault. Chenault had been good for the Gatemen so far. Had a number of good starts in a row. 5 good outings in a row, I should say. Had not allowed an earned run, as that one's fouled off but then 3 earned runs against Cotuit, and then out here now 4 runs allowed in 3 innings pitched. It was these 2 outings where he had to go 3 innings, where he really struggled a little bit. Never pitched more than an inning and 2/3, but against Cotuit, 3 innings pitched, and then here 3 innings pitched, and that's where he's run into the most trouble.
So the 0-2, that's a bouncer toward the left side of the infield, and the throw from McLean to Morales is in time. So that's out number 2. And it's 2 away for Nick Biddison, the second baseman out of UVA.
Now batting, the second baseman, a Hokie from Virginia Tech, number 23, Nick Biddison.
Biddison 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. Also scored a couple runs. 1 in the 4th and 1 in the 5th.
So 2 outs, nobody on. To Biddison is out of Virginia Tech, not Virginia. He swings and misses, so strike 1. He's at second base tonight. Pitch from Saul. He rips that into left field. Diodati and Gonzalez converging, and that's over the head of Diodati and over the fence off of a bounce. So it's a ground rule double for Biddison.
Well, that's tough to tell because that fence out there is a chain link fence, and not much of a way to know if that ball lands from our angle here right at field level, if it lands over the fence, beyond the wall, or right in front of it. And that's a tough call because it comes down on the track and you can't tell if it hit just beyond the fence or in play. And that one took a hop over the fence for a ground rule double for the second time in this game for Brewster.
That's a swing and a miss from Carter, the center fielder. And that's when I realized I saw Diodati and Gonzalez both put their hands up, so no doubt to me. And I'd processed the bounce, but I realized over the fence off of a bounce is a very different meaning than over the fence full stop. So it's 1-1 after the fastball is in the dirt to Carter.
Big out to get for Eli Saul here. This is the 9-hitter. Doesn't want to get out. Well, doesn't want to go back to the top of the order. Needs to get out of this here with a runner at second base.
Fastball from Saul to the lefty Carter. That's in there for strike 2. 2 away. Biddison, after the ground rule double, he's on second. He takes his lead. Brewster still leading 8-4. Pitch from Saul. Fastball misses up high. Count even at 2 with 2 outs. Biddison struck out Byrne, and Freeland grounded out to third for the first 2 outs. Carter, the 4th batter of the bottom of the 7th. Pitch, fastball, just misses outside. Crooks, after a quick hop, was heading back to the dugout. He thought that was strike 3. That one was close.
Well, Crooks thought he had it and tried to sell it and was a quarter of the way back to the dugout before realizing that it was not going to be called a strike. So it fills up the count with 2 outs.
Payoff pitch coming from Saul, and Carter just gets a piece of that one, fouls that off to the backstop. Count will remain at 3-2.
And as the Whitecaps continue to extend the at-bats, you start to realize we're battling daylight here in Brewster. The sun is going down. We have cloud cover now, and in a game that has already gone 2.5 hours, just through 6 and a little bit more, as that one's fouled off 3-2 once again. Just through 6 2/3 innings, trying to figure out if the lack of lights here at Stony Brook Elementary will end up playing a factor in this one.
We've seen that, of course, at YD and Cotuit. Both of those ballparks don't have lights, as the 3-2 misses low and inside to Carter, so he'll take his base. Runners on first and second. But you're right, Nick, already getting towards 7:30 tonight.
And what I can't figure out is why they don't just start these games at 4 o'clock or 4:30. There are way too many games. If you don't have lights, that's fine, but there are way too many games where darkness becomes a factor from the 7th inning on. Just start the game earlier.
Well, we've seen it come up at Cotuit, with the game getting called, I believe, in the 8th. And a lot of these games are not lightning quick, most of them up around 3 hours. We've seen a few past that mark, too, as Bingham swings and misses on the first pitch. It's 0-1 to the leadoff man, the left fielder out of Arizona.
But this is a game where it's starting to get dark quickly, and this isn't even obscenely long. I mean, it's only been 2.5 hours. We're through close to 6.5 innings now.
This is a grounder toward the left side of the infield. Jarvis will collect and toss over to Troy at second to retire the side. Gatemen still trailing 8-4 after 7. We head to the top of the 8th on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
We appreciate and thank the sponsors who support the Cape League and the 10 teams. Our corporate sponsors are the financial backbone of the league. It is with their support that we are able to preserve our long-standing tradition of providing the best family entertainment here on Cape Cod. On behalf of the Wareham Gatemen, the 9 other teams, league officers, and the entire Cape League family, we would like to announce and thank our 2021 corporate sponsors. With much appreciation, we recognize
the Yawkey Foundation, Curry College, Cape Cod Healthcare, the 99 Restaurants, Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod,
Badger Sport, 47 Brand, Cape Cod 5-cent Savings Bank, Milton Cat, Mosquito Marys.
Fairway Financial, Ocean Spray, Seaside Le Mans, Rogers Gray, Franklin Sports.
Cape Destinations, Sullivan Tire, Cape Cod Times, Kinlan Grover Real Estate, Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce.
Highline Cruises, Sports Picks, On Deck Sports, Barnstable Bat, Highness Area Chamber of Commerce.
HP Hood, Sunderland Printing, Axis Bats, Quest Diagnostics, Cape Space. And of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
The Cape Cod Baseball League and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We ask for your cooperation and positive support of the participants and officials. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments or any other intimidating actions will not be tolerated. Thank you. We ask parents to keep their children off the roofs of the dugouts, away from the batting cages, and out of the bullpen areas. Please throw rubbish into the barrels and recycle the aluminum cans in special bins located around the park.
Ladies and gentlemen, state law prohibits the use of any tobacco product on school property. Thanks for keeping us in compliance.
Cameras and video cameras are permitted inside Spillane Field for personal photos but cannot be used to reproduce the game, players, or on-field events without the express written permission of the...
We enter the top of the 8th here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Gatemen trailing 8-4. Owen Sughrue, Nick Magas. It's been a tough outing for the Gatemen. They trail by 4. It's Jim Jarvis, the shortstop out of Alabama, leading things off. Jarvis, Morales, and Crooks for the Gatemen this inning. And the first pitch to Jarvis, he shows bunt, fouls that one off. New pitcher on the mound for the Whitecaps, it's Sam Bello. And this is his 4th appearance of the Cape League season.
ERA a little higher than he would like. 13.5 coming into this game, but he has plenty of runs to work with. At least we think. 8-4.
And Jarvis grounds his next pitch to the right side of the infield, and Biddison gathers, tosses over to Jones for out number 1. That one well struck from Jarvis, but right to Biddison. Fairly easy play for him after doing the hard part, which was collecting it. An easy throw over to Jones. It's Yohandy Morales up next for the Gatemen. He struggled tonight, 0 for 3 strikeouts. Grounds the first one off to foul, just past the Whitecaps dugout. Nobody on, 1 out. Pitch coming from Bello. And Yohandy swings at a very high fastball. It pops that way up high into shallow left field. Moving back is Freeland, who makes the catch. So Morales 0 for 4 on the night. 2 outs for Jimmy Crooks. Crooks is 1 for 3. He singled in the 4th, and he was thrown out on an attempted hit and run, as you mentioned, Nick, from Kern and Crooks. Good throw from Byrne. That got the out. So 2 outs, nobody on. Crooks trying to keep the Gatemen alive. First pitch to the catcher out of Oklahoma is a breaking ball that stays up high.
Crooks with such a smooth swing. Love watching this guy hit.
1-0, he rips into center field. Carter not having to move much to make the catch. Gatemen go 1-2-3 in the top of the 8th. They still trail 8-4 here against the Brewster Whitecaps on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Gatemen Baseball Network. Sweet Caroline playing over the PA system here at Stony Brook Elementary.
Why does everybody here play Sweet Caroline? Every ballpark. The Red Sox. Not Wareham. That's true.
Not Wareham. I know it mostly from Fenway Park.
Well, of course, it's a Red Sox thing. But do you feel like it's overused, in your personal opinion, or do you just love it every time you hear it?
I think I like it every time I hear it. I do appreciate that it's a New England thing. I think I get a little sensitive when people from other part of the country try to tell me that, that's where it started. And I think that's when I get a little bit New England sensitive. I think of it as a Fenway thing.
I understand how you feel. It's the same thing I feel when people around here try to tell me that this place has the best pizza they ever saw.
Well, it's
or the
not
best
bad.
Pizza they ever ate.
It's not bad. And as you said, some of, quote, my favorite pizza in this area, you said is, quote, bad. So it's 2-1 after a foul from Thompson.
I didn't say bad, did I?
You did? You described one of my favorite pizza places as bad. We'll keep the name confidential, of course. And a 2-1, that's a grounder to Jarvis at short, and he'll toss over to Morales for out number 1.
It's really hard to make bad pizza. I must have been pretty fired up.
I think you were. We got you maybe on a day where you were particularly frustrated about the pizza. And for you, is it deep dish or bust?
No, you can have really, really good thin crust. I've had really, really good thin crust.
Okay. Just not here yet.
I mean, I've tried some good pizza here, but
we'll leave it there.
We'll leave it there.
Okay. The first pitch to Lanzilli is in there for a strike. This beautiful light on the American flag in center field here at Stony Brook Elementary.
It really is. Shining through the trees, it's kind of a golden glow that's just hitting the top of the American flag.
We are in golden hour here in Brewster. It's a beautiful night.
See if our photographer, Michaela, will snap a picture of that for us.
And the 0-2, that's a swing and a miss from Lanzilli. And gets past Crooks, but he collects, tosses over to Morales for out number 2. Some nice oranges and pinks over the left field foul line as the golds over the trees on the right field fence. Very pretty sunset here in Brewster. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. It's Chad Castillo out of Cal Baptist, the DH up next for Brewster.
It is pretty, and that's one of the things I didn't consider when asking why they don't start these games earlier. This first pitch strike to the batter, Chad Castillo. We wouldn't get to see these beautiful sunsets if they play these games at 3, 4 in the afternoon.
strategic in a different way.
I guess it is.
0-1 to Castillo. He takes a swing and a miss. So it's 0-2, 2 out, nobody on. Good start to this inning for Eli Saul and the Gatemen. Saul delivers, and that one strike 3 called. Got past Crooks right down the middle. But as casual, a dropped strike 3, as you will see on the throw to Morales, and a 1-2-3 inning for Saul and the Gatemen. They head to the top of the 9th, down 4 on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Back for the top of the 9th. The Gatemen trailing by 4. It's 8-4 here as they visit the Brewster Whitecaps for the first time this year. The Whitecaps took the first meeting at Spillane Field 3-0. And the Gatemen 3 outs away from dropping a second consecutive game to a very good Brewster team, which still sits atop the East Division in the CCBL.
Brewster has been excellent tonight, especially offensively.
This is a high drive out towards center field off the bat of Cameron James, but out there to track it down is Dylan Carter ranging toward the right center gap. Cameron James attacking the first pitch once again, as we saw him do a number of times last night. This time putting good wood on it, but not good enough to get down in the right center gap. And just like that, 1 pitch, 1 out in the top of the 9th inning.
Good piece of hitting there from James, and talked about the sunset last inning as that ball floating to center field, the pink of the sky reflecting on the baseball. Nice visual, nice catch from the center fielder, Carter.
Breaking ball taken outside by Cade Kern. It's poetic, Owen. You ever considered a career change?
Well, we'll see how it goes. The Sunsets have given us lots to work with.
They have. It's 2 straight breaking balls, both cut on and missed. Cade Kern in the box now, facing Bello. Man out of Maryland. Their breaking ball checks it up. He did not go, so the count goes to 2-1.
And there have certainly been some positives throughout tonight for the Gatemen. They had a good 3rd inning, but on what's been a tough night thus far, it's been really good performance from Kern. 2 for 3, a double in the 7th.
High and tight fastball. Kern leans out of the way, snaps back to his feet, and the count goes to 3-1. That was as athletic as any play we've seen Kern make this year, just avoiding that high fastball. Dropped till his back was almost parallel with the ground and then able to stay on his feet. Right back in the box for the 3-1, and he fouls it off over the screen. I don't know how these batters can see the baseball in this dimly lit top of the 9th inning. They're really just trying to squeeze this game in. 3-2 to Kern, called strike 3. He checked it up, couldn't pull the trigger, and he knew it.
A tough, good pitch there from Bello. And Kern thought about it. He took a check swing, didn't go, but just caught the lower part of the zone. A tough, tough pitch there from Bello.
So Bello 1 out away. And Tres Gonzalez, the leadoff man for the Gatemen, comes to the plate for the 5th time tonight. He's 2 for 4 with a couple of base hits. And sends a high drive out toward left center field. Going back on it is Dylan Carter. He dives. Did he make that catch? No word yet from the umpires. And he caught that ball. But both outfielders are down. Not how you wanted to end that game. But both guys sitting up now. They look to be okay from here. The outfielders collided in the left center field gap. And it looked like Dylan Carter held on to that baseball to end the game.
Yeah, quite an unusual ending to a game there. Both outfielders still down. Can't totally tell if it's because they're injured or tired or just gathering themselves, but nonetheless, a beautiful play in left field to end the game. So I feel like sort of a game that ends with a bang, but also a bit anticlimactic.
Certainly a weird way to finish, but a beautiful play made by Dylan Carter. We hope those two guys are okay as they hustle in from the outfield, and it is now time to send it away. We'll be back for the post-game show in a moment. But an 8-4 victory for the Brewster Whitecaps. The Gatemen dropped their 6th consecutive ball game. And Owen makes a face. I can relate, Owen. Doesn't feel good. We'll be back to wrap it up in a minute on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Welcome back. We're bringing it back quick. We're going to try and send it out quick here on the Gatemen Baseball post-game show. It's starting to drizzle here in Brewster. We're okay with a little rain. We're not okay with a lot of rain, so we'll try and get out of here quickly. Nick Magas alongside Owen Sughrue for the final time this evening. Once again, the Gatemen dropped this one by a score of 8-4. A 6th consecutive loss, and it wasn't pretty, Owen.
It's just been a tough stretch for the Gatemen, and you got to credit Brewster. I mean, they just had a couple of huge innings, putting up 5 in the 4th and 3 in the 6th, and that turned out to be the difference. That was all they needed, and we talked about situational hitting for Wareham, and it's exactly what Brewster needed tonight. They were excellent in that sense, and another tough loss for the Gatemen. Certainly some positives. Again, we mentioned Cade Kern in the last inning, 2 for 4, also putting up 3 runs in the 3rd, another in the 7th, so not all bad news tonight. Getting some bats going, that's been a bit of an issue. Scoring 4 here, an improvement certainly over last night and some of the previous games. So just a tough one here to an excellent Brewster team that leads the East Division. So they'll hope to change this as they head to tomorrow. Another away game in Chatham. 3 more in a row that are away. And the Gatemen with some chances to try to change their momentum. It's still close with Falmouth and Cotuit. So some positives from tonight. They hope to turn this around as we head to this week and the rest of the season.
So Brewster extends their lead, at least for the time being, over the rest of that East Division. It's still a tight bunch, and it will be a battle for those guys until the end of the season. They improved to 13-7-2. They won last night versus Cotuit, and they win here against Wareham. Wareham, on the other hand, falls to 7-12-4. And after jumping over 500 for the first time this season, just about a week ago now, has dropped 6 straight. Lost last night 1-0 to Bourne, and they dropped this one as well. So they fall further into 4th place, at least for the time being. Fortunately, Falmouth behind 2-1 to Hyannis. We'll keep an eye on that one for the rest of this game. Hyannis trying to snap a long losing streak of their own. With the rain starting to come down, we'll have to wrap this one up. Nick Magas saying thank you very much for joining us. Owen Sughrue here as well on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Stay with us. We'll be back tomorrow in Chatham, part of this 4-game road trip. Have a good night, everybody.